live. Hey everybody, give us a minute. This morning we're kind of frazzled. Everyone's running late. That's partially on me. Um,
Partially.
I mean, Emily was late too.
Yeah, so.
I actually did not. I mean, I knew you, but you're the head guy. You're the leader. You need to be here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
well. Yeah, that's okay.
It happens. I got too used to Aaron running the show. I just show up and be entertaining and make sure I've read the news stories this week. Okay. Alright. While we're getting this set up, by the way, everyone check this week's title of the podcast.
I saw it.
Oh no, I updated it.
Yep.
Check it right now.
Oh, you did?
Good title.
Where do I find it?
On the Twitch.
That's accurate. It's good.
Yeah, I didn't want to get us hit by the Twitch stuff. For
The title on the Switch?
No, it's on the Twitch. It's like below our name on the stream.
Oh, okay. I see it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I do not like seeing myself on camera. It's unnerving.
Oh, dude, no. I've gotten I used to be that way. I've just gotten so numb to it now. I still am annoyed by my own voice though when I listen to recordings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, when I listen to the podcast in my car,
I think everyone naturally is.
Yeah,
when you listen to the
I'm
podcast,
like, oh god, that's me. Ugh.
The thing is, I don't have a good mic either because everybody's got like a premium $300 mic these days, it seems, and I had used like this $40 POS from Amazon I bought like 8 years ago, so it doesn't do well.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
Yeah,
it's all good.
it's like I don't do it enough to get a new one yet, so
I only paid like $120 for mine.
Mine was free, but it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so you can't say shit.
I don't know how much mine was.
Alrighty, so hey, another week. We're live from somewhere.
From somewhere, yeah.
Aaron's on vacation, so we're all mentally on vacation.
Oh god.
I know. Cake pops are good.
They are delicious.
Which one'd you get?
Yeah, 2 chocolate ones.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, no. Alright, well, hey, we had another week of news. Everyone, I'm sure, is happy about this news. Oh, wait, I think this broke... Oh, no, this broke a while ago. Why is this in the recent news section on GameSpot, then?
Good question. Why is it
there was
recent...
no news this week. Nothing happened this week.
There wasn't much. Like, I was... Like Anthony brought this up. Video cards are back in stock. Like, you can actually buy a video card now.
Kinda.
I mean, if you were...
Kinda. I mean, I don't know how it is for the rest of the world, but in America at least, from only one manufacturer.
Right.
Because, they and NVIDIA are in a very close relationship. Yeah, they put cards in stock. As of last night when I checked, it's all a bunch of 3080s and one 3050 variant that you can add to a cart. The cheapest of that is the 3050 variant, which costs $300. And all the other 30 variants, depending how many fancy features you want, go somewhere between $1,200 to $2,100, I believe. I'm gonna look this up again.
To be fair, when I was looking at these on was it Thursday? Yes, Thursday. When I was looking at these on Thursday, you were able to get a 3090 for God, what was it? $900 almost. It was like $950.
That's not bad.
Yeah, like
Damn.
like a 3080 for like 150 over MSRP nowadays is like a steal.
My, I love how the this is already the 3050 is available for $300 after an instant rebate
So it's
of
$300.
$30 from 330.
Well, you have their water-cooled 3080, which is 1200 after rebate.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that requires you to have already a custom setup to plug into. So
Yeah,
I'm surprised that
Oh,
one
it's
is
not a hybrid
1200.
card.
yeah, it's you
It's
have to
the
have a.
Ultra Hydro Copper Gaming
Oh, okay.
XC3.
Do they
They
have
have
hybrid
3080
3080s
Ti.
yet?
They've got two variants of a 3080. They've got They got like three variants of the 3080 Ti, one 3090, and two 3090 Ti's.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. That 3080 Ti is tempting.
If the 3080 Ti was $1,000, I would say go for it because there's
Yeah,
at least a more sizable jump over the base 3080, and it's at least like a refreshed version
yeah, no,
of it. So like if somebody said 3080, 900 bucks, sorry, 3080 Ti, $900, I'd be like, yeah,
I'd be
go for
like,
it.
fuck yeah, sir, sign me up.
For me, I'd be like, yeah, it's like it's a gen old, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you wait for the 4000 series, the 3000s might drop in price too, and that's pretty soon.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
I'm
Probably worth
My thought
waiting.
process on it is like if all you're really looking for is 3080 performance, you can get a 4070 because it will match it. You'll have the latest feature set, so you can run more games longer and not have to worry about DirectX or any features being obsoleting your card. And it's a 70 series, so it will be more likely to be in stock and less likely to be price gouged to the moon if we have another shortage.
I am currently sitting on a 1080 6 years later, so
You're reaching right at the point when they might get obsoleted because I think the 900 series is right at that cutoff point at the moment.
yeah, 900 series. So they just dropped 7 like a year ago. So that means probably when 4000 comes out, when the 4000 series comes out, we're probably gonna get 10 dropped. And when 10 drops, and then 10 will be dropped when the 5000 comes out. That'd be my guess anyway. Which the fact that I'm still playing like AAA games on like high to ultra settings and getting good frame rates is tells you a lot about what that 1080/1080 Ti were. You know,
Art is a trooper for sure.
like that was like it was like the 1080 Ti especially was like so over engineered that it's still like kind of a good card. You know?
Right.
Like that's fucking crazy when you think about it. Another topic that happened. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think, and I still hope Nvidia still does this. Is right now everybody is currently accusing them of price gouging and riding high profits and taking advantage of the situation. But I also know that Nvidia wants to dunk on the game consoles whenever possible.
Right, and they're not doing that right now.
Because here's the thing: is as much as the PC master race wants to believe that its own unique kingdom that has nothing to do with the peasantry, you're still competing with the peasantry. So, like, I bought a GeForce 970 for $330 that also came with a game and a free backplate because that generation of card launched right around the time I think the Xbox One and PS4 were coming out.
No. So the PS4 and Xbox One came out right after the 7 series came out.
Okay.
And then the PS4 Pro came out the same year as the 10 series.
Okay. But at that time, yeah. But at the time, though, Nvidia still had to present a good value proposition to convince people to, well, buy their cards and game on PC. The PC was a good value at the time.
Yeah, dude, I got
whenever like
I got a 1080, a brand new copy of Gears 4 for $575.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
whenever the console gen tends to stagnate like it did with the Pro and the Xbox One X being out as long as it did, the 20 series kind of could be priced whatever it wanted to be because it didn't really have any competition in sight. Like my 2070 was like a $550 card that doesn't actually go any it matches an 80 series, sure, but still a 2070 series card. It's a 2070 that costs it as almost as much as a 1080.
Well, like
So there's that.
you want to talk about like graphics card, like the thing with that also is like it used to be like back when I built my 2016 rig, you could get a full, really badass rig for $1,500, and that's a lot more than what a console costs. Admittedly, it's 3 times as much, but it also kicked the shit out of it in performance to the point where it wasn't even close. But the thing is now $1,500 just gets you like an above average gaming PC. Like that's it. That is all, sir.
Yeah, like maybe an average gaming laptop at best.
Yeah, like I'm currently I'm currently shopping for a gaming laptop because I've been spending more and more time at my girlfriend's house. And it'd be nice to, play games with her there that aren't on the goddamn Switch. I've been looking. So I've been like, I found one that has a 3060 for like 12 like for $1,250, and that's like a screaming deal. So like it's one of those things where like they do, because now when you compare like the price of a console for the price of a high-end gaming rig, it's like, well, the consoles get close right now. They really do. Like if you go boot up like Guardians of the Galaxy on an Xbox Series X or PS5 and play it and enjoy it, and then load it up like 4K'd out on a PC, yeah, there's that difference in frame rate, but that's the only difference. It's not like this difference. It's not like when it was on the PS4 and there was the difference in frame rate, but there was also the difference in like image quality. That image quality difference really isn't there anymore, or not nearly as much. So like
when you're looking at ports from console to PC, even today, and it bugs the hell out of me, but even today, PC ports some of the time just don't run as well or aren't optimized as well. Like look at Elden Ring, look at any FromSoft game. Really, PC
Persona 4 Ultimax just came out. The PC version is not
the worst.
Great. It works.
It's the worst version.
Like it functions at least, but like it's not great. Like consoles get the priority because they're far more mass market, unless it's like a game that's it's a game that's either a toaster game. Yep. So that's a reality. Like just toaster games happen. Or B, it's a game that is like really taking advantage of the PC. So yeah,
that's probably the problem that Nvidia is going to face in the near future, is that because normally I was expecting that because the next gen systems were coming out right around the time the 30 series was launching, Nvidia would heavily be competitive with price.
Well, they were at launch. Like it was $700. It was supposed to be $700.
Right, because they want to like dunk, because they have they really like to dunk on the competition. Be like, oh, you're gonna buy a game console? Well, let me show you what we can do for your $500, and just blow them out of the water. But
exactly.
Well, the chip shortage happened, so they kind of been making huge amounts of money selling video cards to whoever, miners or whoever has money or whatever. That's great and all, but the problem is that as the years, and now that we're like 2 years, 2.5 years now.
It'll be 2 years in September since the launch.
Okay. Since we're like almost at 2 years. A lot of those people who probably would have bought a view card are thinking like, gee, this is just too expensive. I'm just gonna go watch Twitter feeds to get a PS5 that looks amazing and doesn't cost me a fortune,
right.
and doesn't involve me having to troubleshoot graphics cards or driver updates or BIOS updates or why does my computer behaving weirdly or any of these things. I can just buy a box that works for $500.
Right. I have had no problems with my Series X or my PS5. All goddamn week, I've had this fucking hard drive problem with this computer making noise. It finally got fixed today for no reason at all. Like, it was just like, okay, I guess you want to work. You don't want to make that noise anymore. Fine by me. Because I've done multiple drive checks. I took it out. I looked at it. I inspected it. Secured the cables, and it's still just like, it's cold. Grinding noise.
Didn't we see that was the fan though?
No, I discovered it was the hard drive. I
think we might want to replace that thing soon.
Yeah, like, well, it has a.
It sounds to me like it's dying.
Because if you don't have that thing backed up, and it fails on you, think of, okay, well, first off, what happens if it fails on you? Are you okay with losing everything on it?
Almost all my important shit is on either my like portable drive that I have around here, or my C drive. Like those
That's
really.
good. All right.
My D drive, which is the mechanical one, has a bunch of garbage on it. That's just like just stuff I want to keep, but like not. Like, if I lose it, I'll be bummed, but like it's not the end of the world.
Okay. That's good.
A bunch of old internet
But yeah.
videos that have been carried over from a computer from 2006. So.
Oh, that $500 game console is also your Ultra 4K Blu-ray player for your living room.
Yeah.
I understand like a computer can also do taxes, type documents, and whatever stuff, but so can an iPad these days.
But so can a $300 iPad. So like, for the price of just the video card, because if you want a game at the level of the consoles, you probably need a 3070 or up, so which you're probably looking at $700 or more. For the price of a video card, you can get a base level iPad and a console and do most of the same shit. Yeah.
Oh, may I also mention that that's just the video card. You got to build a computer for it.
Yes.
If you don't already have one.
Yes. Like me, I have a full Ideally, if I have the money when the 4000 series comes out, I'm going to do a little bit of an overhaul of Jarvis. We're going to get Jarvis 2.0, where we're going to swap out the 1080. We're going to add a second M.2 drive for storage. Rip out this goddamn mechanical drive, and if I have the budget, after all that garbage, put a water cooler in it. So, yeah. Fun times. That's the plan at that point, because the processor is still so overkill. It's like massively overkill. Like I'm like the hardest thing I do on it is stream and some light editing, and this stream is eating up a whole whopping 4% of the CPU. Yeah.
It's just taking a nap.
Like, I'm fine.
Like, yeah, if I even the graphics card is the whole bottleneck on this machine, because because we got the internet issue fixed. We're running on fiber. We're getting 100 up. We're getting 1,000 down. In fact, I actually had to switch out my Ethernet cable because it was too old. Fun fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's always fun,
Shit.
right?
Yeah. Well, I had that really. Why am I only getting 100 down? And then I test it on the Xbox, which has like a new wired connection, because and it's getting 500 down, and I'm like, there's a problem somewhere around here. So I had that fun realization recently. As long as we're talking about tech stuff, yeah, no, it's, and then you have the okay, so assuming that you want to do everything a console does. You're probably looking at a Ryzen 5 or an Intel i5, 16 gigs of RAM, a mid-level M.2, a 650 to 750 watt power supply, and that's a lot of money, dude. That's a good amount of change.
It's over the years, the cost of the graphics card just eats up a bigger percentage,
right, dude?
Of your overall PC budget. Because I bought a processor upgrade for my PC and it was on sale, and I was like, oh, it's on sale. Well, I know why it's on sale is because people who usually buy these processors pair it with, I don't know, a great video card. But if nobody's able to buy video cards, why the heck do we need to buy this fancy CPU
setup? Yeah, hold on, let me hold on. I want to check something. Go ahead, keep talking.
The entire PC building market just kind of stagnates out or goes on decline because you kind of need that graphics card to pair with your fancy new stuff. So if you can't get cool visuals, then what's the point of spending all this money on everything else?
Right, unless you're like Aaron and I, or Jesse, where you're streaming a shit ton, and you need that CPU power, and you just have to deal with whatever graphics card you currently have, and there's no fucking point. It's hold on, I'm trying to find the launch price of my first graphics card, just to give everyone an idea.
Oh, jeez,
do we need to pull up an inflation calculator for this? Because we're talking mid 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
Pull that shit up.
My first rig was from 2004. So, okay, 5700 FX. What was the launch price on this bad guy? 95. Okay, so see the NB old place mid range, $200. So $200 in 2004 to now, and for today. So this would be the equivalent of a like 3070 today, most likely, because like their upper mid card. So it'd be $300. Imagine a $300 3070. Imagine.
Dude, I got my 970 for $330 in 2016, 17.
And then I want to say it was 15 because you got the
15.
year.
Yeah,
you got
15.
the year before I got my 1080. Yeah, no, because I remember. Because and even then, just imagine getting going back to that concept, imagine getting a 3080 for $575 with a game.
Damn.
The market's just fucked. It's just
Yeah, it
totally
is.
our bet, and now that they know that the market will pay it, it's going to be the standard.
Well, here's the thing though, is that the market will pay it until you can either no longer sustain it, or a competitor comes along and everybody runs that way.
Yes, that is true.
Because everybody's paying for it, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing, because eventually people are going to get worn out. Like, you think about it. If you had just dumped $1,500 on a graphics card and you desperately wanted it, what are the chances that person may have buyer's remorse, or emotionally, or then some logic comes and be like, oh crap, I just spent $1,500 on a card. I don't want to buy anything else for the next 5 years. I just spent too much money.
Well, not only
I'm
that,
stuck with it.
but not only that, but okay, so I'm really looking at buying this laptop. I'm thinking of doing it in the next 2 weeks. Right? And I looked at I was just it's kind of fucked up that this whole laptop that is a fucking full computer, a really nice one, is slightly more expensive than the graphics card I almost just bought.
That is pretty fucked up.
That's severely jacked.
Yeah, no. That's a real fucked proposition when you think about it. So yeah. I don't know.
So when you did that experiment to look up your first graphics card MSRP, I tried finding the MSRP of the second ever graphics card I ever had, which is an NVIDIA TNT, which is an NVIDIA TNT2 from 1999.
Oh fuck.
$130.
Can you imagine?
And it played everything in 1999.
What was
SimCity 3000? SimCity 3000. I think it was actually maybe able to play all the games up to 2002, 2003. So maybe Star Wars Jedi Knight 2. Need for Speed games ran no problem on it.
Well, it's because back then graphics cards were trying also competing with consoles more directly, and yo bro, you could get a PlayStation for $100.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And let's talk.
I think that's something that kind of happens in maybe some industry sometimes, is we get obsessed with features.
Mm.
It needs to be more capable, more of everything. I think a great example I would use is look at a pickup truck. It used to be this utilitarian thing that you threw stuff into bed and drive it up, but now people want the pickup trucks to be fast. They want it to look good. They want it to be comfortable.
I
They want it to
don't
do everything.
And
so I look at game consoles now. It's well, they still play games, but they're also media boxes with Blu-ray players and everything else on
you can blame the fucking PlayStation 2 for that. That's what started that war. And then
Yeah.
the 360 cemented that war. Nintendo was very happy to be this thing plays games. And then Sony was DVD player, CD player, surround sound.
Yeah, Nintendo kind of went back to that, actually, because the experiment is the Wii can play YouTube videos. The 3DS can play Netflix, but with the Switch, they're
Netflix
no.
or Hulu at launch either.
The Switch still doesn't have fucking Netflix.
Yeah, so Nintendo
it has
just
Hulu.
Nintendo just kind of poked their toe in the pool of media box, but then they're nah, with the Switch, I'll pretty much all games.
I actually had a real interesting thing pointed out to me that I wanted to bring this up earlier. Was okay, I want you to envision this in the same. So it was a what year did Final Fantasy VI come out?
In 96?
94.
95?
94.
94.
94. It was 7 years from Final Fantasy VI to Final Fantasy X. Think about that fucking leap, boy.
Jesus.
All right, now let's think about the 7 years ago. That would be 2015. All right, the difference between Witcher 3 and Elden Ring. That gap isn't that big.
It's in 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
it loads really, really fast. That's kind of it.
It kind of plateaued right around the PS4 area, because I think the PS4 came out and it didn't really blow anybody's minds away, which we thought was probably okay.
Like, I remember there were some first party games that were really visually impressive, but nothing just melted my fucking mind the way the 360 did, the way the PS2 did, the way like the fucking N64 did,
Well, we might be hitting that point of diminishing returns, because what is there left graphically to do that isn't VR?
Higher res and better frame rates in VR. That's it. Like
right,
that's
like
all.
More tech, sharper textures, more resolution, more frame rate, more particle effects. Took us until like 2019, 2018, 2019 to have ray tracing, which it's cool if done correctly, but wasn't exactly blowing everyone's minds away.
No, like, dude, Gran Turismo ray tracing is dope. Like, that's a great game for it.
It's so good.
But like, yeah, and here's the thing. Okay, here's why like graphics cards were $130 back then, Anthony. Okay, you can buy a graphics card and play whatever's on PC at the time, which there was some great stuff: EverQuest, Half-Life, Quake 3, etc. Or you could buy a PS1 for $100, and you had Metal Gear Solid, Symphony of the Night, Tekken 3, Gran Turismo 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy 9, Resident Evil 1 through 3. Like, holy shit, dudes. And like and PlayStation games, because they were on CD, were like $20 each after like the first year. Oh. Like I remember like my dad like eventually gave me his PlayStation, and like I had like $50 for my birthday and got like 7 games. Oh. Because like they were so cheap at the time.
I would say that by like 1999 the PS1 was like on its 4th year at that point, or 3rd or 4th year.
1999 it would be its 4th year in America, 5th year in Japan.
Yeah, because $100 can get you a PS1, but $130 graphics card could get you a game that looks visually pretty amazing for its day.
Oh yeah,
it has like proper 3D, loaded correctly, didn't take like a minute.
It's just that like this was also back when not everything got ported to PC also though. So like
yeah,
right.
Actually, like you would have like for example, in Need for Speed, you actually had 2 different development studios, one to make the PlayStation version and one to make the PC version, because the tech was just so separate between the two.
Well, yeah, and
also like at the time, PCs were a bit of a nightmare to
build, work on, do
not
anything
just build.
with.
Yeah, not just to build, but you eject your CD in the middle of a game, and that's enough to blue screen your computer, which is funny.
That's a funny.
You have to know MS-DOS and DOS prompts, some basic DOS prompts to partition your hard drive manually, and then install Windows 98. And even then, you weren't sure if everything was going to work great. It's just everything didn't fix themselves easily back in the day.
Well, no,
the PS1 turns on mostly.
Yeah, the worst you got from PS1 is you had to flip that bitch upside down because it got too hot. Yeah, like that's it. That's the worst.
I don't know that I've ever heard of that. I've never.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is news to me.
Okay, so early PlayStations, like early PS1s, like the first year or 2 of that thing's existence, would overheat a lot. Like they had heat issues, but because like everything was venting into the floor, and a lot of people kept their shit on carpet back then. Yeah. So what people would do is they would flip that bitch upside down, and all the heat would just come out the top.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a paperclip trick you had to do for it, though?
Yep, I did it the stupid way, where you use a paperclip to keep the disk tray open and point a fan at it. So, anyway, I had to use the restroom real quick. Jesse, Anthony, you continue this lovely graphics card topic.
Is there much else we could say about the graphics card topic?
It's bullshit is what it is. I do want to point out something that I used to do with my PS1, though. I remember being able to finally like import games with that thing. I got this little chip attachment that you put on the back of the PS1 into that I/O port, and then you'd leave the thing open, so you had to do a paper clip to put into the space that makes the PS1 thinks that it's closed. And then you boot up a US game, and then while it's booting, you swap it out with a Japanese game, and then
What the hell?
You're able to play whatever Japanese games you want that way. So I had a ton of imported Japanese games off of eBay. My poor parents spent so much money on getting those games to the US.
Wait, so
Oh God.
the
What was that? You cut out on that one.
was the PS1 region locked?
It was, yeah. Yeah, you couldn't play any imported games. And I don't know that I don't know what generation companies started to not region lock their games.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I know,
It's
like,
definitely
with
not
my
Nintendo. Nintendo wants to region log everything they
Yeah.
can, so it's
Right.
definitely not them.
I know my DS I could play imported games on with no problem. My Switch I can play imported games on with no problem. So I think sometime around 2004 to 2006, companies started to not take it as seriously.
I mean, we do live in an age now where what good does it do if you try to do that?
Yeah, it's true. You can
You just somebody would just like, oh, I'll just use a VPN, or hey, I could just get a Japan game shipped over to me in 2 days, or I could just use a download code. It's just,
right.
what are you protecting anymore by region locking your system? Whereas like in the old days, I could see them region locking because let's just say that this may not be correct for games, but like the US game would cost $60, but the other region could sell it for the equivalent of $40, and people would just buy the other region's game and just end up cannibalizing sales money or something like that.
Yep.
So
I could see that
they'll
logic.
get picky about that, and maybe there could be concerns about cultural outrage because you turn off region lock and everybody buys a certain Japan game, and then parents get angry over whatever's in said Japan game.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I feel like it's a corporate money thing. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it all boils down to, right? From region locking games to graphics cards and stuff. Like, sure, we're heading possibly toward a recession, but people are paying boatloads of money for whatever. Why don't we jack up the
That's what I'm
prices?
trying to figure out right now. Is where's everybody getting their money from? I mean, besides, stimulus check maybe. That one's easy.
Yeah, but that was like $1,200. What, a year ago, year and a half ago?
I think officially they
Ish.
only really gave out like maybe at I think if you it's just like a couple thousand at most, few thousand maybe
Yeah.
for the entire 2 years that they did it.
Yeah.
I think there was three, and I was like, okay, that's like where's everybody getting their money from? Did everybody get rich off of stocks and crypto? And I missed the boat.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody got into
Completely.
that GameStop
The Game
before
Stonks.
But the thing is that by the time you
rocketed.
find out about, but the thing is that by the time you found out in mainstream media, it's already too late.
Yep.
Because by the time they wrote that article, it already reached its peak and already maybe past it. Oh yeah, well with graphics card, it's a cryptocurrency became a huge thing. So miners,
Yep.
a lot of
Paying those
miners
kids.
bought. They bought a lot of them because they would have these entire server farms out in the middle of rural America or elsewhere.
Oh yeah, there's
Just
this
these
guy on TikTok
gigantic.
who
This
does
sounds like
that,
gigantic jet engines in the middle
Yep.
of a field.
Yep.
I mine crypto.
Well, and the consoles all use AMD cards, right?
They do.
Yeah.
They're
So,
I think they're APUs, so think of them as super
yeah.
it's charged laptop APUs.
I think that feeds back into your argument about Nvidia trying to like surpass the consoles and not just like stick to console parity because everybody's using AMD. So like, what do you do to incentivize going over to a PC market?
Right. And
Well, maybe Intel will have. I haven't heard anything about Intel's graphics cards that they're developing, but maybe they'll be a price competitor.
the problem with Intel's graphics card is that they've been continuously teasing them for over a year now.
Yep.
It's gotten to the point where it's like vaporware. it's gone to the point where it's like Final Fantasy 13 versus, where
Mm.
they swear they're working on it. They
It's
keep
coming.
teasing it. They keep
It's
showing
coming.
videos of it. There's this GIF of a truck almost crashing into a pole. But it's constantly playing all these angles of the truck nearly crashing the pole, but it never shows the truck hitting the actual pole.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
constantly teasing you.
Uh-huh.
That's what Intel's doing. It's like Final Fantasy 13 versus before it was announced as 15. It's just, hey, we got videos of it. We got specs of it. Hey, guys, we're going to talk more about it. Hey, guys, here's the chip right here. And they keep doing this over and over just to keep the news going. But at the same time, everybody's like, yeah, but where's the product, man?
Right. How long has it been? Where's the card?
So they finally put it out, except it's the low-end chips for laptops.
Wait.
So the high-end stuff is still nowhere close to coming out yet. Intel's now saying Intel launched it, but video card makers always love to paper launch their products.
Yep.
So now they're saying,
about
well, the
Intel
high-end
cards.
Intel stuff will come June 30th.
I got the gist of this just from coming to the last second of it. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Great.
I put in those key extra identifiers so you can get caught up, Bronson.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. Intel might do something, but at the same time, Intel's taking so long. By the time they launch their cards, they're going to be a gen behind. And we'll just all point and laugh. But conversely, that might put a little bit of pressure to get the prices down a little bit more. And you technically have a third, and you technically have a third player in this whole graphics card race, and Intel has a lot of money, so.
I mean, okay,
More
so
the better.
Might be a joke, but hey, if it might be less efficient. Drivers aren't as good, but hey, if it's priced right and people buy it,
I think my big
that's something.
right, like my big take on that is the fact that like my big hope is that because they do these orders like well in advance, right? Like they do them like well in advance. Okay, so since they do them well in advance, what my honest to God hope is that that because of the demand they way over order, and like supply massively outstrips demand. That is my hope. Will I get
Conversely, though, a lot of stories are out there where chip production has been at peak for a very long time, so they cannot massively order to begin with.
Unless you're Microsoft, because
Intel's new chip factories in Arizona, I believe, don't come online the slightest until maybe 2024 at the earliest.
Well, so that's another thing though, is like Microsoft. I'm not sure if you've noticed this. There've been a lot more Xboxes available recently, Series X and Series.
Series S you can buy at Costco. Just walk to Costco, get a Series X, easy.
What up, baby cakes? Hey, how you doing? We're talking about video cards and boring production, supply and demand stuff.
Hey, in economics, now in the Super Gamecraft Economics 101 class, we'd like to present to you supply and demand
of video cards.
I mean, yeah.
I just need to pull in like a whiteboard, like right about here, and then start drawing it.
Well, so I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it's been the past 2 months. The Xbox has been the best-selling console in Europe, even over the Switch, because Microsoft paid to get priority allocation of chips, and they're actually like ready to be bought. So, assuming that any of the video card manufacturers do this, I think that like if you're EVGA and you pay to get priority, and then sell the card at even like slightly less than the next guy, it's gonna be a huge win for you.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, like that's so, but it's a matter of are they willing to do that is the question. So. I don't know. It's a fucked situation. It's been fucked for 2 years now.
I'm looking at Best Buy, and you can get an Xbox Series X package with 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate membership, all access, for $34.99 a month. Get it in 4 days.
Yep.
Granted, that's like looks like a leasing thing.
It's leased,
but you can get a system in 4 days.
So it's leased to own, and you actually end up saving like $20. I did the math on that when that first came out. Yeah. They're literally look. We've been talking about this for ages. Microsoft's whole strat for this, Microsoft's strat, their big brain play, is to just get as many devices and as many houses as possible that can use goddamn Game Pass. That's it. They don't give a shit if you do it through a Series S, a Series X, an Xbox One, a fucking phone. I'm sure that if a PC, I'm sure
it's just growing Xbox the brand.
Yeah, and it's
in all directions.
Yeah, it's
and them buying everything in the industry seems to go towards that too.
Yeah,
in some ways.
Absolutely. And like, am I happy about it always? No, but like, it's to say it like I just love this argument that's been floating around like this entire generation of just like, oh, PlayStation has all these exclusives, like blah 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 blah. Yeah, dude, but one of those exclusives comes out at best every like 4 months. You know, like yeah, okay, cool. Every 4 months you get like a game you have to spend $75 on, and two, it'll probably be really good, but like it's done in like 2 to 3 weeks. If you're a normal working adult, if you're a degenerate like most of us are, like 3 days. So yeah, like it's yeah, like I don't get how this model is supposed to be competition long run when turn on my Xbox here, or even load it up on my PC, and it's like, oh look, I can play literally hundreds of games and a bunch of new release games for the low price of $15 a month. Oh fuck, that's loud. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we kind of live it. We kind of look in. The industry has changed.
Yeah.
Like in the old days, you could probably like in the old days, you bought one system and you kind of had to justify the fact that, like, if I'm 13 and I can only pick one system and I picked the Xbox, I'm gonna defend it whenever the topic of a PS3 came out and everybody's saying, "Oh, the PS3 is so great," but I'm like, "Well, I just got this Xbox, so."
Yeah, like when you were a kid.
I hope the Xbox games are good.
Yeah, when you were a kid, you got the N64, and fuck the PlayStation because you had an N64. Like that's what it is. But first off, how many games are honestly like locked in these days? Like such a small handful. Like I'm staring at my Xbox library right now, and I'm gonna take out stuff that's older than dirt, like just stuff from the past like 3 years, and it's like Forza, Gears, Halo. And then literally every one of the else of these games I could play on a PlayStation. And then it's the same thing on the other side. Like, it's Gran Turismo, Uncharted, Horizon, Spider-Man. And it's just like... It's like just such a small fraction of what the industry is. And like, yeah, those are some of the best games out right now. Like, no doubt. 100%. I will... Horizon is a 10 out of 10 experience. It's super good. But is it really worth spending $500... and a shit ton of your time to go get that?
I think it depends on your use case. Because what you described was what I like back in 2007. Yeah, I would totally buy a Wii just for the one game every single 4 months, and I was happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like, it depends on your use case.
Like, I'm very happy with my PS5, but I fully acknowledge that like it's very much a system that is used sparingly. Like a new exclusive comes out and I burn through it, and then it gets.
And it sits there for 4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hear it.
I buy a Switch, and I think I haven't really used my Switch in 4 or 5 months now.
As much as I crap on the Switch, right? Like, as much as I like dunk on the Switch, I will say that I have played the living crap out of it during both of my hospital stays. So,
yeah, it's really good for that portability.
Like, when you are trapped, it is and have no other options, it is which that sounds bad when you phrase it that way, but
yeah, when you can't do anything else, it's great.
So, if I were to describe it, all right, so outside of enthusiasts,
Mm-hmm.
if we're talking about the average person who doesn't really play games much, doesn't like necessarily watch these types of shows that say this, but like this show, like this podcast, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually wondering if they were going to buy a system just because, hey, you could play 100 games for $15 a month, or they're going to buy a system based on because of like, dude, it's got the 5 best games ever on this one system.
Well,
Because like as an average guy like me, like I'm not huge into film and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna pick whatever I see on this enormous Netflix queue, for example, that looks half interesting. I'm not exactly gonna sign up for HBO Max just because it has 3 critical shows that redefine the industry. Maybe.
I wouldn't be on HBO Max either if I didn't get it for free with my phone service.
Yep.
So...
I think it's more about friends, though. I think most people will buy consoles, like kids or teenagers or whatever will have a console, but it's going to be the same console that all their friends have, so they can play their games together with their friends. I don't think it's going to be about like this is the greatest game of all time.
Right.
Actually, that just reminded me of the point right there. When you're when you're just a teenager with not a lot of disposable income, isn't it a lot easier to convince your parents to pay $15 a month, $120 a year?
Oh, dude,
for hundreds of games that you and your friends can all play together, just pick whatever the hell you want, versus the 2 you have to selectively pick during the holiday season.
Right. No,
nothing else.
I remember when I was a kid, rentals were such a big deal. Like, rentals were such a huge fucking deal. Like, it was like going to Blockbuster every week with my mom. My parents would pick out a movie. I would pick out a game. And then you would play that shit all goddamn day long. You know, and all weekend long. Like, I remember, like, renting Star Fox 64, like, 8 times. You know. Yeah, like, it's one of those things, or, like, renting, like, Resident Evil, like, 1,000,000 times. Like, it was one of those things where, like, it's really hard to justify spending, you know, $50 at the time and now $60 to $70 on the game like every couple of months when you're that age, versus now you can do it pretty much anytime you fucking want because you're grown adults with adult income. Versus like, you know, back then, like could you imagine back then like having like one, convincing your parents even back then $15 a month is not a big deal. Do all your chores, keep your grades up.
It can be a bit of a challenge depending how frugal they are.
Yes, but like
maybe speaking from personal experience here.
I know exactly what my parents would have said. As long as your grades are up and you do all your chores, like that's basically what my parents would say. Just do all your chores, keep your grades up, and then fine. And I very much I remember that when Blockbuster came out with that unlimited game rentals thing. I forgot what it was called, but it was like unlimited game rentals, and it was like $20 a month. And my mom was like. And, like, my mom just, like, here is your own card, here's this service, that is your allowance for, like, the year. Go play as many games as you want. And, like, yeah, during the summer I would totally walk down to Blockbuster and, like, yeah, just, like, every 4 days just swap out games. And that's kind of what this is now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I look
this one, it is instantaneous, and you can pick anything. You don't have to drive to any location.
Exactly. Like, I didn't have to walk.
You could download it. You could just download whatever, a queue of 3 or 4, however many can fit in your hard drive, and just go.
Yeah, like, you know, just like, oh, you want to play Dragon Ball FighterZ? That's on Game Pass. You want to play Burnout Paradise Remastered? That's on Game Pass. Final Fantasy X, Game Pass. Like, all these, like, you know, these, you know, straight up bangers, and you don't have to leave your house, and it's $15 a month. And, like, if you have good enough internet, you can stream them. And it's just like, and I know that PlayStation is coming out with Spartacus, right? Like, I know that's a thing that's happening. But it just feels so lackluster in comparison from, like, everything they've described, at least. Like, we don't know.
Does not feel good.
Yeah, like, it's just...
Spartacus?
Yeah, so Sony announced 2 weeks ago they're doing their own Game Pass competitor.
Oh, that's what they call it, is Spartacus. Okay.
That's the code name for it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's codename Spartacus.
Let me get its actual name.
But they'll call it PlayStation Instant or something like that,
Oh,
right?
no, it's already been
it's
revealed.
PlayStation Plus, but with a bunch of like
Code
add-ons
names.
to the name. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have PlayStation Plus Essentials, which is what it is now. They have PlayStation Plus Extra, where you can stream or download 400 PS4 and PS5 games. And then they have PlayStation Plus Premium, which includes all of that, plus includes PS1, PS2, and PSP games that you can download, and PS3 games via the cloud. But no new releases, no day one releases, and it is $18 a month. Or $120 a year,
I
whichever.
feel like this is a hybrid between Game Pass and Nintendo's nostalgia Switch thing.
To me, it just feels like they just mashed PlayStation Now into PlayStation Plus and upped the price.
Yep.
That's all that it feels like, really. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. It's a very interesting world we live in as far as this kind of stuff goes. Like, it's, you know. Anyway, let's move on. We talked about graphics cards and consoles and this weird. This is like the weirdest video game market I've ever experienced in my life. Like it really is. Because from like 2000 and like from when as long as I started playing video games, like 1995 or like 1996 to like this generation, you kind of had a pattern that happened. Like the consoles would come out and they'd be cutting edge, and the video cards would come out like a year or two later and would blow their doors off for not that much more money, and then the cycle would repeat. But like
It was very straightforward.
Yeah, you'd have some stuff that would really blow your mind, like the 360 with all its online features, or like the social connectivity stuff inside the PS4. But like for the most part, it was all this big. It was very much like this pattern that happened. Like, oh, the first 2 years of console, you're getting stuff that's like cutting edge, and all the PC ports are bad, and then like the leapfrog's way ahead of it, and like isn't that much more expensive, and just you go back and forth. And now it's like they're both kind of even-ish. Like PC is obviously a little better, but like for the price, man, it's a weird market to be in. So I don't know. Anyway, hey everybody, we're gonna pull up another news story here real quick. News for the week. Hey, guess what? Speaking of these lovely, lovely, lovely ports, No More Heroes 3 was a Switch exclusive last year, and it ran kind of like hot garbage. If we're being completely honest, like it was.
Okay.
It was a great game. It was on my top 10 games of the year, but there were definite points where I'm just like, ooh, I feel like I'm playing an early Gen 360 game.
It definitely felt like that.
Well, fear not, because hey, guess what? It's getting ported to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. So.
Well, damn.
I just need to stop buying third-party Switch games.
just
just wait for the PC release, like every time.
Fucking
Every goddamn time.
Yeah, no.
It kind of goes the other way around too, right? Because they would take a 360, a PS4 game or an Xbox One game, and then put it onto Switch in the Switch's early life.
My big I have the opposite problem of Jesse. Is like an indie game will come out that can run well on Switch, but I don't want to wait, so I'll buy it on the PC. Like Hollow Knight's a perfect example of this. And then like it'll come out on Switch, I'm like, fuck, I should have waited for the Switch version.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Like that happened with Hollow Knight, that happened with Hades, that happened with like a couple other games like that were like that. And then on the opposite side, like I bought No More Heroes 3 on the Switch because I thought it was going to be actually exclusive, and they're like, lol, no, we like money. So I don't know. It's if you have not played No More Heroes 3, it was one of my top 10 games of last year. It is a fucking beautiful fever dream of anime bullshit that you should all go check out immediately.
Certified banger.
Yep, 110%. Especially now that
but it kind of runs a bit rough, right?
Yes, if you're playing the Switch version, it'll run great or like total trash. There is no middle. Yeah, so this version's improved HD visuals, frame rates, and faster loading times. And they also handled the PC ports of No More Heroes 1 and 2. They announced the pre-order, and any, and it doesn't look like there's a date for this PC version yet. They just said it's coming this year. So yeah, that's cool. It's once again, it's a great game. I'm a fan. It's just a matter of when,
Yep. Well, and for me, like it really hammers home that I should be waiting anyway because I don't play games on my Switch anymore. Once I figured out I could dump games to my PC and emulate them and run them a million times better, like
I play like exclusives on the Switch, or like if I'm like traveling, like that's about it. But I'm about to pick up this laptop. In fact, it's on this sale price for another 10 hours, so I'm going to spend the next like 9 hours debating internally.
agonizing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that shit. Like,
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm like, oh god, I need it.
Do I really want to
Alright,
do this?
so-
Do I want to wait?
So you're agonizing over a new laptop, if I heard correctly.
yeah, so
Mhm.
I've been like going to the girlfriend's place a good amount recently. It's been at least once a week overnight, and like we like playing games together. Like obviously, if you've seen us in the goddamn Discord, pretty much every week.
Mhm.
And we like to do it at each other's houses. She has a laptop that can play like the 3 games we play together. I do not. So when I go to her place, it's either watch movies or do nothing, or play Switch. You can bring out the Switch too. And I was just like, fuck, this drastically accelerated the need to get a fucking laptop. And like,
Well,
and
it's a good thing you didn't buy the $1,000 graphics card.
right, exactly.
'Cause
Like,
that 3080 isn't portable.
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
Like,
you could, but then you have to buy like a $600 enclosure, and then have a computer that has a plug on it that you can plug it into.
no, I could just
Yeah.
haul Jarvis over there with its glass case
Yeah, there you go.
every
Hey,
fucking week.
hey, I used to do that every weekend.
Yeah, but you
No
also
problem.
yeah,
No problem.
yeah, but okay, but like Jarvis is huge. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, my PC is I named it Jarvis. We name all our computers here. I don't Ninja, do you name yours? Jesse, do you name yours?
Yeah, I will name. So my phones are all named after Norse gods.
Mhm.
My PCs are all named after Norse locations.
Mhm.
And then my laptops are named after like mythic Norse heroes.
Okay, so I kind of choose the name whenever I get done with the build. See what I think of it. Right now I have an Iron Man theme going. So the computer is Jarvis. The laptop is going to be Friday, and then this guy
Nice.
is Edith. So
That's good.
so
Good.
even
I'm-
dead, I'm the hero.
I personally am more from the perspective of I'm going to name something after. If I'm going to name one of my things after something, it needs to at least somewhat look the part.
I
Or else
mean-
it's gonna get name all like my phone is just the iPhone 12 Pro that has like nothing that identifies it as anything else beyond an iPhone, so I don't have a nickname for it because, well, what is there to distinguish it from every other iPhone? It's not like with my PC that I named Anixia because I'm like, well, it's a black PC with purple LED lights into it, and it is the smaller, younger sibling to Bronson's PC at the time, which was Nefarian, which had the red lights and is a full tower case and had all the firepower in it.
I
so-
only buy full towers. Fuck that mid tower shit.
I miss my full tower. I'm gonna
I mean,
be
well, it
honest. I miss
depends.
my
So,
full tower.
so a mid tower ATX is okay. It's when you go to micro ATX, it becomes a bit of a struggle.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I feel that. I know that I had well, this thing I didn't have a name for it until I saw the cooler running, and I was flipping through different lights on it, and I landed on white, and it looked like the arc reactor. And I'm just like I looked over to my keyboard setup, which is all red, and I'm just like, I got it, Jarvis. So yeah.
Jarvis, powered by Microsoft Windows and Cortana.
Yes. And then you have
Who is now not an insanely creepy AI.
yes. Now she spoiler alerts for Halo. Now she's dead. So anyway,
Just
yeah.
to live on in your Windows 11 PC.
I still haven't gotten to Windows 11 yet. I like the thing is like I love working at Microsoft. One of my favorite things is just like, yeah, we're our own beta testers. So it's just like like there have been multiple times during the week where I will get a software update that is fucked. Oh lordy, no. It's like like I had one last week that just like massively slowed down my computer. It was really annoying. So I don't know. Baby cakes.
If you guys are your own beta test, so you guys are running Windows 11, right?
Most of the computers, mine isn't yet.
Okay.
They force the update on you, and it just happens.
If you guys are your own beta testers, that means Microsoft has to be really good at making sure those updates work, because then they're losing money if the update goes wrong.
Yeah, baby
That's
cakes.
That's also a lot of pressure on whoever the developers are for said updates.
Baby cakes in the chat.
If you down the company, we just want to let you know that accidents do happen if you down the company for more than 5 minutes.
No joke, it's a pain in the ass, says Baby Cakes. Yeah, she works for me as well, in a different section of the office. And like you will just get random updates during the day, and like you need to do it immediately. So it's like, okay, save your work, run the update, and then just like all right, well I guess I'm gonna go get a coffee for the next 10 minutes.
That does sound rough. Jeez.
Oh yeah.
No, just
the struggle.
Yeah. No. I don't know. We'll see. God, it's springtime. Allergies. Yeah, no. Lucky you, the Windows 11 update is kicking my ass. I've had so many issues. I have not been forced to Windows 11 yet. They have not made me, and I am going to go kicking and screaming into that dark night.
Are you talking about your work computer or your home computer?
My work computer.
Okay,
No.
well, if it's your work computer and it downs your computer, isn't it Microsoft's problem to fix your computer so you can remain productive?
I mean, it is, but that doesn't mean they're going to do that. No, they're legitimately the best office employer I've ever had. Like, as far as, like, the first 2 months goes, like, I'm beyond impressed.
Okay.
Like, from the office environment and everything. It's just that the way they handle software updates is hilarious to me. It's just like...
Okay, well, does any company handle software updates correctly?
United Healthcare probably did it in the unsafest, dumbest way possible. They have backups, that's true. They do have backups. But no, like United Healthcare, what they would do is they would be like, okay, wait until Friday night when you log off and run it then. And they were also like running like Windows 7 when we were like 2 years into Windows 10. Shit was hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, if it's an Enterprise Edition, they support that stuff for a long time.
That's true. Hands down, same. I really like
Enterprise Edition.
Yeah, same. Hands down, same. I really like this company. No, I totally get why like Cognizant, the contractor I work for, and Microsoft keep people. Totally understand. So yeah.
Hey, it's almost like if you like working there, you stay. Wow, what a concept.
Yeah, no, like my manager said, the beatings will continue until morale improves. So, yeah, but it's I have not moved to Windows 11 yet. I don't know when that is going to happen. We'll see. Yeah, though, so no more Heroes 3.
You'll be. I think you'll be okay with Windows 11. It's basically like Windows 10 underneath with the way I thought it was, it's like Windows 10 with like an interface update, but it doesn't take too much to get used to it.
If I pick up
you'll just get angry that you lose the start menu again.
Fuck.
It's like it's a love or hate interface, but it's not too hard to get used to it, especially if you're technologically literate.
If I end up picking up this laptop today and it has Windows 11, I'm gonna be very pissed.
Oh no, they all have 11 now. They all have 11 now.
Great, super happy.
But yes, you can downgrade and
Yeah, don't even stress about it. Just downgrade.
Yeah, I'll put Windows XP on it.
Probably not that far, but hey.
No, definitely not.
You do you.
They still are actively supporting 10, so stick on 10.
Yeah, no, that's the plan.
You might lose out on DirectX, like, was it DirectX 12 Ultimate? I don't know. Does that run on Windows 10? Let me look that up.
We did have a guy in our Final Fantasy Static who, up until like 2 months ago, was running Windows ME. So
That's so awesome. Dude, I remember when I was raiding in Wrath of the Lich King, I had like this person who kept dying to standing and stuff, and I'm so confused. I want to know more about this laptop. Okay, so yeah, I've been laptop shopping the past 3 days. Especially after this past weekend. So I've been like, all right, and like there's this one. There's 10 hours left on the deal. I'll post it in the chat, a link to it. It has a 1060, a Ryzen 9, I believe it is. Yeah, Ryzen 9 and 16 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD. It's basically pretty much everything I checkbox for a laptop. Plus, it's a thin and light. And I'm just like, I like barely have the money for this right now, and I do mean barely. So I'm like debating if I want to do it, especially because there's only like 10 hours left in this sale, which would save me $300. So, yeah.
What size of laptop are you looking for? 15-inch or 17-inch?
This is a 14-inch.
Okay.
I'm going 15
As,
to
for some reason, so when I took a trip to Costco, I was surprised to find that 17-inch gaming laptop with a 3060 costed less than a 15-inch laptop that had a 3050 in it. Now, I didn't look closely at what graphics chip it had or what CPU it has or whatever, but I just usually the 17-inch laptop is just more expensive. End of story. But now it's like maybe portability. It's like now you want something smaller, pay more, so less is costs more. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's because people value portability more now. Like, like that's just a fact. Like, I remember, like, you remember the last laptop I bought before this one was, I made because of the immense back pain I had at E3. I made sure to go out and get one that had that was light, because that 7-pound behemoth just broke my spine at E3, and I'm just like, I can't do this for another E3. I just can't. I will like weep openly, and then I like got a 4-pound one with a 1070 Max Q. Really regret selling that motherfucker nowadays. But yeah. So, moving forward on the news list though, we have more wonderful Blizzard news.
You say that with such enthusiasm, Bronson.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't sense any sarcasm there at all.
I cannot contain the excitement of this.
So, California lawyer quits over allegation that Newsom meddled in the Activision case. A top lawyer for the state of California resigned, accusing the governor's office of interfering with the discrimination lawsuit against Activision Blizzard. Is basically the short version of it. Hold on.
Yeah, so the top lawyer got fired.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the number 2 lawyer resigned because I believe the statement is that there was interference from the governor's office that are in line with what the council at Activision wants.
Yep.
In their interests.
Yep.
So that's the overall. That's basically it summed up right there.
Yeah. So in short, this whole lawsuit is probably going to get it's probably going to get completely turned upside down, because there were people.
There's going to be maybe turned upside down. Maybe there'll be a settlement.
Yep.
For 10 million or something like that. Hi, we're sorry. We paid the fine.
Yeah. So
speed track the acquisition by Microsoft.
Critics pointed out that $18 million was low for a company of Activision's size, and that the same department had gotten Riot Games Inc., a smaller company, to pay $100 million last year to sell its own lawsuit. So, yeah. And this is all, 2 days? Yeah, 2 days before the unveil the new Warcraft expansion. So, yeah.
Kotick's really calling in those favors.
Just a bit.
This is tangent, but I just enjoy that they're unveiling the announcement. So, World of Warcraft is probably a game that's played by a lot of people in their working ages, early 20s to, people in their 30s and 40s. It's been around for a long time, so the audience of this game is generally older, right? I like how they're announcing this expansion on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. when we're all at work.
I mean, to be fair, Tuesday at 9 a.m. at my job, like, I could take 3 minutes to go watch a trailer. It's
Yes,
not that big of
you
a deal.
can. You can. I can. But can we say the same for most of
Oh, dude, when I was
the
at,
base that's in the workforce right now?
I mean, when I was at United Healthcare, like, I would do that, but, like,
I
management
mean,
wouldn't
granted,
like
I
it.
understand like E3 also has all their news pumped out on weekdays in the middle of summer when we're all at work, but
Mhm.
you know that's a big convention.
Oh, I remember,
So
dude, I used to take time off for E3.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
legit, like, and this is before I was going to E3. Like, it's like, it's 2011, and I have work, and I have work. Oh, God, I'm sick. I'm sorry. It's the middle.
E3 just brings this illness to you that you're getting sick with excitement, so you call in.
Yes, that's bingo. Anthony gets it. Anthony, the real MVP.
You know.
No, it's yeah. E3 was always a really fun time, but it's like,
Or you're allergic to bad news coming out of E3.
Like,
It's bad for you.
I'm
Yeah.
allergic to bullshit.
yeah, no. I remember when we stayed up till like 2 a.m. to rewatch that Microsoft thing with Aaron Wing flew in from Baltimore. Fuck. Didn't go to work the next day for sure. Lordy. Yep, yep.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I know you guys already talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago, but yeah, E3 is dead.
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much, right?
no, E3 is 100% done.
Like the
It's
ESA, Electronic Software Association, whatever it's called, is still alive, I'm sure, but the event itself is
Dead as a
that's
dodo.
That's the final straw.
It's the nail in the coffin. It's done. It is 110% done. There's no fucking way they're coming back at this point. Like, I'm sure it'll come back. Like, it'll come back under a different name and like be some bastardization.
Or maybe
but...
it'll be like or the same name but much smaller, or trying to be a fan convention instead of a business convention.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
just
that.
E3 just doesn't work in today's day and age, because why fight with other people for news? We can pick one dead week in the middle of the year, and that's all everybody talks about.
A Baron
I mean,
drone.
look at Apple. When Apple comes out with news, do you think anybody's talking about NVIDIA GPUs?
No,
It's all about Apple for the entire week.
How's
Heck,
everyone?
PS4, when they announced the PS4, it was freaking the end of January. No news happens around that time. And all we talked about for the next 2 weeks was nothing but PlayStation 4.
A Baron drone in the chat. Hey everyone, how's everyone's Easter? We're doing good, man. We're just having a show. Woke up bright and early, got here, had my super gigantic coffee that I have on Sundays. So my spirit can come back and animate my body. So yeah, no, because like look at what happened at last year's E3. Like no one talked about anything besides Microsoft. Like that was it. Because everyone except Nintendo got the fuck out the way. And then Nintendo had a little bit of stuff to show. People got really hyped for Metroid. But yeah, so why have this race anymore? Like Nintendo, I remember, what was it? 2012 is when Nintendo stopped press conferences.
Yeah, that sounds
They
about
just
right.
went straight to Nintendo Direct. Like,
yeah,
why fight for news where you can just do a quarterly video series?
Yeah, no,
of stuff that's happening. And you can talk about it as much as you like instead of having to fill out these time slots with G4 TV and game trailers to get their cameras set up.
IGN,
and also, like, why do you need to like impress the press when now? Because like the old days, a lot of industries in the old days ran through. You want to please the media to write something good about your product, so you can convince the public to buy it. But nowadays, marketing has changed. The press doesn't really quite convince people to buy stuff anywhere near to the same influence as they had in the past.
No,
it's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of hype. It's a lot of marketing. For example, why the heck would you go through this whole trouble of paying for flights across the country when all you can do is just do one really clever social media campaign to do the exact same thing?
Well, not like that, but like
and reach out to far more people far faster.
And then you also have like the not only that, but you also have like think about the when we used to do events. Like yeah, we would have a lot of positive stuff to say, but like some stuff we would like all dunk on super hard. Like why are you gonna go to this event for the possibility of like someone like from the press to just like shit on all this hard work you did. Yeah.
Or you can have social media to reach out to the same amount of people. Like in the old days before the internet, yeah, the only way somebody would find out about your products through an advertisement or your newspaper, magazine, whatever. So in the old days of gaming, probably the magazine was probably the best thing that was going to tell you if it was good or not. Because obviously marketing will always talk good about their product, so you need a more objective, subjective way of looking at it.
I think that would be it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But it's changed now. All you have to do is just have like one influencers. There you go.
Right. It's way, and then it's also way easier to like talk to influencers who are already drinking your Kool-Aid. Like true facts. Like that's just the way it is.
And you have a lot of desperate people.
Well,
who
yeah.
will happily volunteer.
Right, and it's just like how I always used to talk about working with Nintendo. Like, I remember the just absurd amount of work that we had to go through to even just get a contact with Nintendo. Like, just the connections and the begging just to even get on their like press list, you know,
Jeez.
because Nintendo learned years ago that, okay, we're going to talk to guys like the Completionist who are already drinking the Kool-Aid, and then we're going to dish out our own Kool-Aid, but otherwise, fuck this shit. You know, why would
It's like that kind of environment where you kind of have a group of people who say nothing but positive things because any amount of negativity will end your career.
Yeah, no.
Which I think you had a comment to say about that, where like if you have to rely on early access or saying nice things about companies in order to stay alive, your content is not good.
Yeah, no, I've always said this. I've said it I said when we lost. This was what 10 years ago when we lost access to Sega stuff when we were at the Gamer Access. So we used to work for an outlet called the Gamer Access, and we had access to press stuff. And we lost access to Sega because I gave a scathing review of Aliens Colonial Marines because it was shit.
Maybe if it was a good game, wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, like oh man, if you would have like given me a game that didn't suck horribly, this would not have been a conversation we'd have to have. That's unfortunate. Anyway, what ends up happening is they blacklist us. They blacklisted us all the way until they worked with Atlas. You know, like straight up, like that, and like I was like, well, that's unfortunate. Oh well. Nothing I can do about it, you know? Because, like, what the fuck am I going to do about it? Like, beg them? Like, oh, we'll say nice things about your terrible game. Like, no, dude, my job is to serve the audience. And, like, yeah, like especially, like, back then, games, like, reporting was really different. Because it was more about, like, trying to save money versus now it's more trying to save you time. You know? Because, like, nowadays what happens is we have this... Like, if you're engaged enough to listen to a podcast like this, right, then you already know a game is coming out, and chances are if it's like, you know, like worth talking about. What you want to know, is it worth your time? Because you kind of probably already know if you're going to buy it, you know, or if it'd be something you care about. Like, chances are, if Anthony likes a driving game, and you listen to the podcast or the streams, and he talks about a driving game that he really likes, and you have similar taste to him, that's probably a good bet for you. Just like if I like a shooter, it's probably a good bet. You know, if Jesse likes some weird FMV game, probably a good bet. But like this like general all-purpose website that like IGN is, for example, like that dude, it's not a thing anymore. It's not like something the public gives a shit about anymore either.
Yep.
You know? Like those sites are coasting on their fucking name and SEO. Like, you know, and like there's proof in that because if you look at the way they monetize, like let's go on like IGN.com with like ad blocker turned off. It is just fucking bukkake all over your face of ads. You know, just ads every 10 seconds. Ads.
And also, like, whenever I go to IGN, they're covering so much. Besides the ads, they're covering so much
Well, yeah,
that you kind of don't know what they're talking about. Is this like, are you talking about because they have to talk about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock? They got to talk about gaming news, but they also got to talk about Apple products. I'm like, okay, what do you guys actually talk about? Or are you just like a generic tech site now versus in the old days you go to IGN because it was a video game website.
right, and this is
So it's like there's no focus here. There's just cover everything.
it's cover everything, get everything like into this like just SEO as much as possible, click throughs,
What is SEO?
search engine optimization. Like it's get as many
I'm
people.
looking on their so I'll just look at IGN's front page. All right, they're talking about what do you get with your streaming subscription? Elden Ring messages, Flight Attendant Season 2, Warhammer 4000, and Tiger Bunny Season 2. Like, I'm just kind of... I would look at this and I'm like, okay, this tells me really nothing what they're talking about other than just generic entertainment. Digital entertainment.
Yeah, that's
Which in itself is a giant field.
Like
That's the first 5 things I saw on their page.
Like, it's just so weird to think about, I guess. Like, and this is, it's the same thing with, like, all these old guard sites, and I'm just like, how long are these going to be around,
They'll be around until they run out of revenue. Then they're not around.
What?
Because you'll be around as long as you make money, and if you don't make money, you're done. That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, a lot of them have been purchased by bigger publishing companies or media companies.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you don't make money, you're cut.
Well, like CBS sold GameSpot like a year ago. Like they're now owned by what's it called? What's the name? Red Letter Media.
Red Ventures.
Red Ventures. Thank you. Yeah, like they're now owned by that company. So it's just like, why would you?
Yeah, and that's a reasonably big-ish company. They've got Metacritic, CNET.
Yeah, they now own GameSpot. Like they're huge. They're gigantic. Yeah, so I don't know. It's
well, again, the media has changed.
Well, yeah, because like
it's changed. Like some ways I'm okay with it because it's like, hey, you got people who specialize in things. You like MMOs, you go to Preach Gaming. You like you go to Super GT if you like Gran Turismo simulator type driving stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just like, what's your favorite genre instead of like in the past where an outlet would try to cover everything.
Right, and like it's impossible to cover everything.
Yeah. The downside of it too is that everything's become like an instantaneous, spontaneous 30-second YouTube short or TikTok meme these days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a strange mix of both. I mean, the long form stuff is out there, but if you look at YouTube Shorts, you can get a million views much more easily if you just make some dumb joke about Final Fantasy 14 Y'shtola.
Well, yeah, perfect example of this is you look at like, and that's across the board. Like fighting games, go to Maximilian. You want like you want MMOs, Preach and Asmon. I'm trying to think of who the big shooter guy is these days, but it's a like the horror. You have a bunch of different options. Like if you want people who do horror games, it's like war has changed. But
war never changes.
Jesus.
The more it changes, the more it stays the same.
Yes, exactly.
Didn't that all come out in 1 year?
Yeah, it was a 1 year period of all those hilarious memes.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. It's this thing where like like that's actually been part of our thing too. Is like we're trying to adapt to like what we are and what we like, because we have a very eclectic mix of tastes here. So it's like we know for sure that like most of the group likes fighting games and MMOs, and that's been kind of our bread and butter for a while.
Yeah, I'm not having personally tried to cover too many different types of stuff in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, yeah, I'm into driving stuff and I like RPGs, but I also was trying to do these turn-based RPG like Disgaea, and I just realized that it is hard to try and sound interested at everything because there's just some genres I really do not want to care about.
Well, yeah, especially
and I have no interest to care about, but I have to care about because I have the assignment to have to write something that's fair to our audience, which just brings a lot of exhaustion eventually.
Right, like it's this thing where just like you would get reviews for games that you just didn't give a shit about, but like you had to talk about it for the audience and be like, oh, and thank you once again, Shawshank. Happy Easter to you too, and we're gonna do our best, as we always do. So yeah, because like I remember like one of my first review copies was Awesome Nos. At the time, I didn't really give a shit about MOBAs, but like someone needed to take the review copy, and the studio wanted us to review it, so it was just like, okay, I guess I'll take it. You know, so I don't know. It's interesting. Justin, what's your take on all this? Because like I know you didn't really have any time in the industry, so I'm very curious to know like your take and thoughts on the evolution of like the media process and everything.
It seems like if you don't have a niche, you're not gonna do well. If you have, unless you're already established, right? Like
Right.
IGN and GameSpot,
Like Giant Bomb,
you
like
need-
yeah, that kind of stuff.
yeah, you need to have a niche. You need to know who your audience is. You need to know what it is you're gonna cover and cover those things exclusively until you get either the backing or the audience to start to spread out into other things. And when you do spread out into other things, you're going to lose some people because they want you to cover what you've been covering or play what you've been playing. Like there's,
Well,
I used to follow a lot of Binding of Isaac streamers who then started to play other games when they got tired of Binding of Isaac, like 3 or 4 years after they had started streaming, and their audience numbers just plummeted because the people went there to watch them play Binding of Isaac.
Well, yeah, like how many times, like, you know, I think about like certain streamers that are really big and known for like one thing, and like you look at like Asmongold, who like was like this huge WoW streamer, like going in and doing, you know, other stuff was a really big risk. Like it was you know, it was huge. So yeah, like it was, you know, it was a big thing. Like it's and like yeah, that paid off for him, but like I mean, how often does that pay off for other streamers? Like, you know,
Right.
you know, you
Right.
you look at like even us, like when I moved off of doing fighting games often, like Friday night streams just like went from like 15 people down to like 6.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
like you know, like it happens like literally everywhere when you find a niche and like move off of it. You know, so I don't know. That's you know, like it's and to be fair, it's also really hard to find that niche because like it has to be something that you want to talk about every fucking day.
Yes,
Or like
absolutely.
you know, like thankfully like I can talk about Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft and to a lesser extent Guild Wars every day. I have no problem doing
Because
that.
there's an audience for that.
You know, like yeah, not only is there
Like, yeah, like for me, it's just like, what's the one thing that keeps coming up to the point where somebody might mention? I mean, sometimes like I would like talk to people at work or in public, and they'd be like I have people who think that my bedroom is nothing but a giant collection of car posters and diecast models because diecast car models. Because
to be fair, if I didn't know you, I could
because
see
that's
that.
all I ever talk about. That's all I ever talk about,
Right.
even though my room doesn't look like that. So I was like, okay, apparently I seem to never run out of stuff to talk about when it comes to this topic.
Yeah. Like I could talk about WoW all day, like almost always. You know, like there's like I was very passionate about the game for a very long time, and like to this day I still like parts of it. Like I remember like I came back to it last week after a long break, like to play Final Fantasy and stuff, and I was just like, and I'm like, oh dude, I missed that quick GCD. So good, feels so good. You know, and like all these different abilities that just other MMOs don't have, and like the world of Azeroth is still super compelling and fun. It's just like, you know, and I could talk about that all the time. But anyway, we have, let's see what other news stories we have, and then we could talk about what we've been playing, and then call it a lovely day.
So I seem to think. So I'm noticing that Sony is continuing their video game movie run of their IPs. So you have the Ghost of. So you have the Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah, Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima.
Yeah, Chad Stahelski feature take off Sony PlayStation games. That's. I can't read this title correctly. Anyways, you have a person that's gonna write the screenplay for their Ghost of Tsushima movie adaptation.
Great. Love it.
So Yeah, we had the Uncharted movie came out in February, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't see it, but yes.
And let's see, that one did 383 million worldwide.
Mhm.
And then you have the more recent success of Sonic 2, which I believe I saw the headline. It had the best opening weekend for a video game movie ever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Aaron, I'm sure
So-
Aaron will be happy to hear that news.
He will be
And
ecstatic.
Sony Pictures and PlayStation Production are also doing the Last of Us TV series on HBO.
Yep.
So Sony is like the only thing right now that's legitimately pushing forward video game, TV show, movie adaptations.
I guess, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's going to be the worst thing ever, but maybe a long string of averageness.
I don't.
don't know.
I didn't watch the Uncharted movie. I like wanted to go, but got busy, and like I thought it was fine. It was adequate. Like it was, like it was, like I've heard it's fine. Like that, I've heard like it's the definition of like, hey, do you like Indiana Jones? Would you like a mediocre Indiana Jones clone?
Oh.
I remember,
Yeah.
like, when we were watching, well, that trailer played during the Batman, right?
Does Microsoft's Halo not count? Microsoft's Halo is a Paramount Plus TV show that I hear is fucking horrible. So,
Yeah,
I've only
it's
seen the
very
first
empty.
episode,
that's
so
not
I
good.
can't say for
That's
sure.
not good.
yeah, because Halo has a bunch of wins going for it right now. Fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it's. I really hope that like it's like Microsoft like had all this money and time, and then was just like, we could do this good thing, or we could, or alternatively we could go and make some, like just might as well have Uwe Boll direct this.
Oh.
Oh, no. That's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
I didn't either. When someone mentioned, I was like, "Oh no!"
That just brings like that name lives in the same era as was it Jack Thompson?
Yeah, no, just you have this era of just absolutely like people trying to get rid of video games because they're immoral, even though it's the rock and roll debate for like the 1 millionth time.
Yes.
Is what it is. Elvis and his gyrating hips are corrupting the youths. Like that's what's that's exactly what it is, except the Grand Theft Auto is corrupting the youths.
As today it makes more money than everything else, so what does the wallets actually say?
It's yeah.
What do people's wallets actually say now?
Yeah.
They don't even have to make Grand Theft Auto 6. Like, what's even the point? The thing grosses more per year than probably 95% of all big title games out there right now.
Oh, dude,
That
yeah.
come out during the year.
Without question.
Like, yeah, you
They don't need to do anything. They just have to keep putting out content, little packs that cost an absurd amount of money, and then people will pay microtransactions to get said car that can, jetpack off of a rocket off a platform or something. I don't know, something silly, whatever GTA Online is. these days.
Just yeah, we I don't know. We were playing it a lot when the pandemic started, and then yeah,
Those were always fun too.
those
Just
were
seeing you guys cause all sorts of chaos and bullshit.
just those streams took a part of my life.
Oh.
like they were fun, but man, they were stressful. Especially because like I don't get how a game that's that old is that unstable. It is the horror.
And yet everybody will dump all their money to it.
Well, yeah, it's a great.
Not everybody, but a lot of people will dump a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because
Like Grand Theft Auto Online. When did this originally come out? 2011? 2012?
2013.
Great.
Came out
So
in
like,
13.
okay, so Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on 360 and PS3, and then Grand Theft Auto Online came out. That's
Yep.
how long ago it is. It's been almost 10 years.
It'll be 10 years next year. Yeah, 10 years of Grand
Yeah,
Theft Auto 5.
Skyrim having it. Yeah. So,
Jeez.
but it makes so much money. What's even the point of doing anything new? What's the point? Except
yeah,
putting out like a small content thing.
well,
Like, how can it be this broken? Apparently, everybody else figured out a way to do it, whether it's hacking up servers or whatever, or doing weird exploits that glitch the weather or something.
well, it's
knows
like
anymore?
it's what was the Grand Theft Auto, like, think about, like, this goes back to that thing we had about the 90s, but, like, you can apply it to Grand Theft Auto as well. Because look at Grand Theft Auto, and you, in, like, a 4-year period, you had 3 Vice City, San Andreas, and then if you're willing to wait another 4 years, you have 4. And then a year later, you have Lost and Damned / Gay Tony, and then a year later, you have Red Dead. And then in that same 10-year period, or, like, 8-year period, you have Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's it. Like, that is all.
But it makes all the money. It's about the services now, right?
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
it's the dude.
And also,
Like, that's actually one thing about Sony's games I actually really like, is with the exception of Gran Turismo, none of them are live service games. And I'm really happy about that, because, like, there are so, like, every fucking game that isn't an indie game nowadays is a live service game. Like, every single one of them. And I get it, because it's, like, free, reoccurring, like, revenue. Like, why wouldn't you if you're a publisher? But, like, it was, like, just, like, I booted up that Uncharted collection earlier this year. And I sat down, and I just played through it, and I was having a good time. And I was just like, this is really weird that this is like this just contained single player thing that's a lot of fun that I'm going to get the achievements for, and then I'm going to put away forever. It's not going to get any more content updates. It's not going to get any, like, DLC or paid DLC or anything like that. It's just going to be a game I enjoy. Versus, like, you look at all these games, like, that come out, like, Elden Ring's obviously going to get DLC, and it's getting balance patches. You know, like, Final Fantasy gets content all the time. You know, like Destiny, content all the time. You know, King of Fighters is probably going to get a whole bunch of content. Like, just like every game now is just a reoccurring revenue stream.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Like Lost Ark, perfect example. Like Lost Ark, giant revenue stream. Like, it's like even Persona 5. Like, Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of the past decade. But, like, look at all the costume DLC that came out for that fucking game. Like tons.
horse armor is no longer a joke.
No, like,
It is the reality.
yeah, dude, like, I remember when, like, horse armor came to Oblivion, like, the internet shit
God.
itself. Like,
Yeah.
They all
everyone
laughed at it. They all laughed at it that somebody would pay $5 for a cosmetic that did nothing.
Yep, no, exactly. Like,
It did nothing was a cosmetic. It didn't make your horse do anything better. It didn't make your horse fly. It didn't do anything. It was just purely a cosmetic.
And now, like,
Now it's okay.
now everyone does it.
And now we're spending money buying cosmetics in Heroes of the Storm that doesn't change gameplay at all. Other
Yeah.
than, ooh, it looks cool.
I think
No
it's because of League of Legends.
No
I think
problem.
it's the rise of League of Legends. You play League of Legends for free, you get all your champions for free, and then you can pay money for skins, and I think that's what helped normalize.
Well, yeah, I think that helped
Yeah.
normalize it, because you look at, like, Heroes of the Storm, same thing. Like, it's a free game, so, like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw some money at it. But, like, the problem is this is creeping into non-free games now.
Yes.
Like, it's...
I mean, we've been spending the last half a decade. We spent like the last decade getting to this point, really.
yeah, like, just the
Just slowly nudging it more and more and more to see how much they can get away with, and they found out they can get away with, like right now. Don't do an NFT in your game. That's what's getting a lot of backlash.
Siege is the
You
same,
never
but it's
know.
paid. Yeah,
But if you just nudge it in a little bit, maybe you'll just eventually accept it
I remember
without even realizing it.
I remember when like, this stuff started, and I went on Unscripted Access and the original Gamekast over 10 years ago at this point, being like, this is some bullshit. Please watch out for this. This is going to be bad. And, like, no one fucking listened or cared. And here we are, a decade later, and it's completely normalized and fucking everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the thing is though, is like, for all the complaints that people have of it, money talks. And what does the money say? What Grand Theft Auto Online is doing is perfectly justified.
Yeah, and like,
What Dota do, like, you know, like with free to play games, fine. You know, like Dota 2, I really like the way that Dota 2 does it. Everything is unlocked, all the characters are unlocked, the gameplay will play exactly the same. But if you like this cool costume, you can totally do it. Buy it if you want. That's
Yeah,
fine.
but some of those costumes and announcers go up to like $50.
I know.
It's yeah.
But again, money talks.
Yeah.
You can complain all you want, but what does your wallet actually say? And at the end of the day, I think it's normalized because people continue to buy it. Whether regardless of everybody can laugh at EA using the Kinder Egg analogy, but guess what? People still bought it.
Yeah, they did. I agree, and they shouldn't have.
Like the fact that it takes something like Blizzard messing up so bad that people are canceling their subscriptions left and right to put them into the point where they have to go into emergency repair mode. That's about the only time I've seen in the last 10 years where a company finally did something bad enough that everybody's pissed off and leaves.
Well, yeah, I'm like in the same
In that scale.
Yeah, like like I remember for my first 2 years of playing Heroes of the Storm, I didn't buy a single fucking skin, and I didn't buy most characters. Like, I just didn't. And then, like, I just finally caved at one point, because it was like, it got cheap enough, and where I was just like, you know what, fuck it, sure, why not? You know, and that's everybody, and that's the same thing with like the thing that really bothers me though is like Final Fantasy 14 and WoW, where we already pay a sub. Like, you already pay a sub, and then they're like, here, let's go to the store and buy this shit. And now Final Fantasy is doing what Warcraft has done, where they're going to be putting the store inside the actual fucking game. You know, so
And we're all okay with it because, goddammit, you need that cool mount.
I have not.
You have to have it,
so
you will pay.
I am so proud of this
because it's so cool.
The only World of Warcraft store mounts I have are the ones that have come with the collector's editions.
Yep.
That is it. That's
I'm
all
in
I
the same
have.
boat.
Yep. And Final
Fantasy, though, I am fucked. So
Final Fantasy,
leave it at
I don't have one. All I have is the recruit a friend mounts. So I've gotten people to play the game enough to get the dragon and the drought chocobo. That's it. Otherwise, nah, even that one. No.
I'm fortunate to come from the viewpoint that even in a multiplayer game like Final Fantasy 14, I've learned, like, nobody really cares. Like, they'll look and be like, that's cool, but, like, it's not like I made any friends because I had a cool store-bought mount.
No, it's the store mount.
Or even amounts that I earned from a really hard content in the game. That's still relevant.
Well, no, the thing is like the store, and this is with any game like this. The store mounts, no one cares. They're like, oh, that looks cool, or whatever, you know, like once we have our ultimate/extreme group together, I'm gonna buy the Space Whale to cart us around. Like, you know, like, yeah, sure. But otherwise, like, yeah, no, this is for me to enjoy. Like, eventually, I'm not sure, but I eventually probably will pick up Cloud's motorcycle, because I like that motorcycle. It's cool. I want driving around. But, like, yeah, like, most of the mounts are like, whatever, dude. Like, it is what it is. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's, it's just, like, you already pay a sub, and then, you know, and then you're paying an additional anywhere from $12 to $42 for a mount. And then, like, Final Fantasy gets really egregious because you also have fucking emotes on top of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Somehow in Final Fantasy, that store's been around for a long time. I know a lot of people bought a lot of stuff from it, and I don't browse through it except to get a Fantasia when you want to change your character's appearance.
A friend of mine has gotten me an emote from it as a gift. Like, I got that. She got me this Super Saiyan emote. And then, other than that, like, I have not bought anything on that store yet, or gotten anything from that store.
I have every mount and every emote.
Dear fucking God, Jesse.
I am part of the problem.
You are the problem, motherfucker. You're not part of it. You're all of it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry.
But that's the thing. It looks cool.
It does look cool.
Think about it. If we only ever, like, this is just how life kind of works, right? Because if we only bought what we ever need, you know, like,
like, I get where you are coming from, dude. But, like, I'm, like, on this store, right? And I'm, like, looking at different stuff in it, and I'm just like, No, fuck that. Like that. Like, oh, you missed the Halloween event? Here, you can pay $5 to get this costume you missed.
Yeah, that shit is stupid. I agree with
And
you
I'm
on
just
that
like, why not just run it the next Halloween event?
one. Yeah.
I think like a lot of I think like a lot of the store stuff is a lot similar to why people care so much about their clothes and appearance. You look good to others, and I think especially with
I look
today, I
good
don't
for
know if this has
me.
I wonder if it has something to do with like today's culture where we just kind of are a look at me, grab attention, come on, pay attention to me, validate my existence. So I don't know if we live in that age where everybody loses attention so quickly that you need something to look at you for 3 seconds just to validate that you exist or something.
Like, I missed the Halloween event in Final Fantasy this year. I didn't get any of those goddamn pumpkin heads. But when I make my Reaper, I'm gonna want a fucking pumpkin head. So goddamn it, I'm gonna be paying $3 for a stupid pumpkin head if it doesn't come back in next year's Halloween event. Ugh, so annoying. Oh god. And like, yeah, there are like the thing is though, it's like I will say this: the difference between Final Fantasy 14 and Warcraft Store is significantly worse because that shit didn't exist. That shit was not around. They just inflicted that upon us with that fucking Star Horse, and like everyone hated it, but some people bought it, and enough people bought it where they kept going. You know, Final Fantasy, that shit was around forever. It was there from the beginning. Fine. That was just part of the game. So, who the fuck knows? Oh, shit. Alright. Terrible video game movies. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah. On that, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 director expresses interest in creating Super Smash Brothers film.
I thought we were already making that universe movie series because of the fact that we had a Detective Pikachu movie. We've had 2 Sonic movies.
We're about to get a Mario movie in like
yeah,
the next
we're
year
gonna get our crossover. Don't worry, everyone, it's coming.
It's coming.
I'm
It's coming.
I'm trying to figure out, like, how's this going to be really much different than what's already in Smash Bros. Brawl and Ultimate?
It's not.
Because the stories of those 2 games had to be so basic to the point where I'm like, this plot is just kind of a gigantic whatever. You played it so you can unlock your characters faster.
Well, I mean, that's what Avengers was. Like, you look at that first Avengers movie, it's the novelty of the first Avengers is the fact that it exists and it's good. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, they did it. They made it. They succeeded. You know, like, it's the same thing with this, like, Sonic movie. Like, the fact that they want to make a Smash Bros. Movie and, like, combine them all together, like, that's the novelty if they pull it off. If they don't pull it off, it's just going to be another tire fire. So, yeah.
But at that point, it's just another failed video game movie, so who cares?
Yeah, it's add it to the bone pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people will go and watch it because video games are bigger than ever, and you can't help but be curious.
Oh no, we are literally starting a show where we are going to watch all those god-awful movies. So, don't worry. That's coming. I know Emily's excited.
Well, I mean, I just want to talk shit about some of these video game movies.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay, this is the one in the Final Fantasy show that drives me crazy. 10 pots of jet black dye is $7.50.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Or you can buy them for millions on the market.
Millions of gil.
Yes, and here's the thing, is that you could go through the struggle of trying to get 500,000 gil for 1 jet black dye. Or you can spend $7.50 of your real life money to just get 10 of it right now.
It's literally just WoW tokens. That's
You
the
can
point
buy
where
it
you're
and
at.
then
You're
dump
at
it
WoW
and then dump
tokens.
it on the market. Oh my god, you could buy it in the real life store and then sell it on the marketplace board, and they
You can't for the dye anymore. Those are now market prohibited.
Don't want to farm this thing in WoW nowadays? It's cool. Just get a WoW token and buy it off the auction house. There you go. Same thing.
Okay.
At least for the dye now, you have to actually like find those out in the world, and I think they only drop in treasure maps, so they're pretty rare. You can't just buy them and put them on the market board anymore.
I mean, yeah, that would.
That sucks.
I mean,
That-
that's good
that
because
would-
because then everybody's going to be able to get their $3.5 million to go enter the house lottery.
Yeah, and then you're going to tank the housing
That just
market
makes
worse than
everything
it already
worse.
is. Yeah.
Why is the house only $3.5 million? That is way too cheap. It needs to be like $30 million.
Yeah, well, because
I
if
get
this-
it. You got to give everybody a chance. Fine, but the thing is like for some reason they decided not to copy paste any of these plots to make more. So
Oh, you want to talk about how easy it is to earn money in Final Fantasy? After I completely materiated all my stuff and bought all my full endgame gear set, I only had like 32,000 gold, and Anthony gave me 100,000, or Gil, sorry. And Anthony gave me 100,000 to like go take care of business. And I, like, literally, it's been like what, a week and a half since then, and I'm already up to 500,000. And I literally don't farm for money at all in that game, like at
It's
all.
pretty easy. Right now, I'm selling items on the market board that you can buy from a vendor for 40k, and I'm selling them for 90k on the market board, and they're selling pretty quickly. So like, it's free money. Like,
Money has no meaning here.
it kind of doesn't unless you are like the only time it really does matter is like if somebody wants a minion or
Yes,
some,
yes.
some glam that you can't really get elsewhere, then it pushes like 5 million on the market board, then they'll care, but that's like the only time.
Yeah.
I don't really see messages. It's definitely not back in the early days when somebody was like, oh man, teleportation is actually expensive when you start a new character. Or stuff like that. Just now it's like, what are you saving your money for? Oh, to buy a house faster.
To like it's basically like all people really spend money on is glam.
Like, what
Yeah,
am I
that's
doing
it.
with my 70? What am I doing with my 75 million gil? I have no idea.
Well, yeah.
I have no plans to buy a house in this game again. Because it's like, what do I do with it? Like, I don't have joy in that anymore.
Right, exactly.
Is there any glams I want? Not really. I'm not exactly into the glam endgame. So what am I doing with my 75 million? No idea. I'm just saving.
So you could start playing the auction house. I mean, that'd be an option.
Yeah, see, that's pretty terrifying.
That, like, you could just become the Final Fantasy equivalent to, like, a super rich person. And just, like,
yeah,
ball out like crazy.
There's already a lot of people doing that, and I don't have much interest in doing it.
I just watched a video where this guy purchased every single listing of a particular item across his data center, and then listed it all for 3 times as much, and made like 600 million gil.
What the?
Oh, that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they like yeah.
Y'all are nuts. Okay.
The same thing with the vendor thing. Is like if nobody knows that this item can be bought from an NPC vendor, buy it, sell it for markup, profit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, like there was a buddy that I talked to way back in the day when he started Final Fantasy 14. He had no interest in doing the combat. What he did was just started money making almost as soon as he could.
Oh, dude,
He made hundreds of thousands just buying commodity items from NPCs and then just putting them on the market board because nobody knows. You could search on Google and find out they're sold at an NPC, and bam, they buy it. He made lots of money.
Yeah, no.
And hey, it's not like there's any regulation to stop you from doing that.
No.
Doesn't say it's prohibited.
Oh, now we're getting into fun. Let's see. Was that the spiffing Brit?
It was, yeah, it was. The
Anthony,
Spiffing
just
Brit
give it all
video.
to me, says Aaron. Aaron, how's your vacation going, man? We're holding down the fort
I
here.
miss you.
We do miss you. It's been a real dumpster fire here without you.
Hope you're enjoying your time away.
Yes, we'll be seeing you next week. We hope. So yeah, like it's one of those things where like I did that myself actually because I was like wonder why like I bought my full endgame set, accessories, everything. I'm a full 580 set with materia, except for my gloves. And then Ninja points out to me, why don't you just data center hop? And I go over to the next data center next to us, and it's like selling for like 20k a piece, and I buy like 5, sell them all for 40, undercutting my entire market and making 100k, and getting my gloves.
Jesus.
Welcome to the globalization of Final Fantasy 14.
Just
No, really, it
Down
used to,
that
it so it
rabbit
used to
hole.
be.
Final Fantasy NAFTA out here.
The North American Free Trade Agreement has gotten even bigger now.
The Eorzea Free Trade Agreement, the EFA.
And we're gonna have like data center. We can do like
ETA.
data center. You can visit across data centers now, right? Like
Soon.
eventually,
Yeah,
6.15.
soon.
Yeah, you can. So I could go visit my original data center that I came from. And so yeah, I'm like, this is globalization, right? So it used to be you were just contained to your only server. All your raiding, all your party finding had to happen within the server itself. Then they did the cross-server thing, which was great and kind of lousy at the same time, but kind of had to happen because everybody was just dumping their server for whichever popular server had the best raids, right? Best raid teams.
Yes, that was what was happening.
But that kind of complicated the trade thing. So now we're gonna globalize to hopping across data centers in your same continent.
Oh Lord.
Oh boy.
Fuck. Oh dude, the economy in this game is about to get fucked.
It's
about to get so.
Need the Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, of our data set of our North American region.
I want to be the Eorzea Warren Buffett.
And you pay a crew of people to do investments for you.
Lordy. Somebody write this down. I want that to be the title of this week's podcast. The Eorzea's Warren Buffett. So...
we're like 2 hours into the show for them to get that, right?
Yeah, so
it just
good.
means I gotta listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, good. About to get on my flight back. Expect more Elden Ring this week. Awesome, great game. All right, we should go ahead and discuss what we've been playing. So I'm pretty sure everyone here besides M has been on that patch 6.1 this week.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a good patch.
Oh, hey, we got something in the chat. Gunblade X6. How's housing for y'all? Fucked. Completely fucked on our server. How's yours? So.
Oh. The housing and
got a house.
Yeah. Eorzean just got a house. That's great.
That's great.
My FC upgraded to a medium plot. Where I'm good.
I am
Wait, you
trying.
got a medium plot.
No slots available.
Wow.
Nah, he's Ninja is the real Warren Buffett of Eorzea.
That's right.
Just wait, he's gonna own like 5 of the clubs on that region's data centers.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because here's the thing: Warren Buffett doesn't just do stocks; he diversifies the portfolio.
I mean, yeah, that's. Yeah.
But that way, if the markets go down, you're still making lots of money.
By the way,
But no, like, it kind of reminds me, like, I don't think we talked about this on the show yet, but we talked about it before it started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the housing market in Eorzea, or at least Ishgard, is kind of messed up because the lottery system isn't working for a lot of people. You would save up the 3.5 million guild deposit, put it in, and everybody else puts it in, and nobody wins because they would just glitch out and nobody gets a house. So you're all losers.
Just
you get your deposit back.
So hold on. That's just like the real life economy.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Although deposits, like, you don't get deposits back usually, right?
No. Hold on, real quick. I want to make that big slot to make airship stuff. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I'm at the point. I'm like far enough behind where I really don't care about housing. In that game yet. I know I'm eventually going to want to get a house in Kugane, but it's a matter of when.
Good.
Well, just know that you don't have to have a house. You can do apartments or your FC's room as a not so good what do you call it?
Yeah,
Sorry, you can't get a house, but you can have an apartment.
Your participation, your consolation prize. I believe that's
yes, there you go, consolation prize. The thing about the house is that when you own it, you have to log in or walk inside your house at least once per month. So if you're thinking about canceling your subscription long term, you're gonna lose your house unless you walk into it like at least once a month.
I need to live my American dream in game because I can't do it in real life.
I am right there with you,
bro. Yeah,
struggles.
no, like oh my god, you wanna. No, like, I have so many goals in this game before housing, though. Like, I want to finish the newest Extreme. I want to cap out my Dark Knight, my Reaper, and my Sage. I want to get good glams for all those said boys. Like, it's...
I'm excited that you're into this game.
Yeah.
Well,
I've just... so I went through the stages of grief with World of Warcraft over the course of a year, and I finally just gave up, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to, like, go here until this is good again. Till WoW is good again. I need to get my Ifrit pony. Oh, dude, Anthony and I got all the ponies, like, 3 weeks ago. We did it all in one shot. Like, if you have one person to help you, you can get all the ponies real easy. The bird...
pretty easy at 92.
Yeah, like, the birds are pretty easy. The dogs, I feel, is one stuff you can't really two-man it anymore. You have to start getting more people involved.
Yep.
Like, I can think you can two-man Rathalos pretty well, but otherwise...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but the other ones are a lot harder to two-man.
Granted, Rathalos has the best mount out of all those, so, you know. I enjoyed hunting Shiva. Great fight, great music. Oh, Shiva's the bomb, dude.
Shiva's
the bomb.
One of the best things that game ever had.
That is one of the best, like, even though it's super early, it's one of the best fights in the whole game. Same thing with, what's it called? God. The
Reborn.
Yeah, it's like the early dungeons, like the fact that they went in, they reworked them all. Like, I'm not sure if you caught that, which, like...
Oh, Praetorium?
Not just Praetorium, like, even the, like, Copperbell Mines, all those. Like,
Yeah,
they made...
all the early ARR dungeons.
Yeah, they went in and redid them all. Like, it's...
So, I've only redone, Sasha wasn't redone.
It was.
But it was.
I think it was. I think they redid most of the old ones. But
the level 15 one, and it kind of felt the same. So,
well, I know that
I reran Praetorium, so I was like, that's okay. Good to know that place has some meaning now instead of just a grab popcorn. Take
Do Marlborough still ruin your day in that one dungeon? Oh, the
still ruin your day in Armvale, yes.
Armvale.
Okay, maybe I'm just lucky with that dungeon. Like, I will fully admit, like, because I don't have the PTSD that everyone else has for that dungeon.
Right, well, the thing is, like, with Armvale, enough people have ran it, and you can have the gear to soak up a lot of stuff. And they did tweak it in previous years, where the coin boss guy used to not display any AoE warnings. You had to look at his cast. And back in the day, when you didn't know what it was, everybody kept dying to that boss.
You can definitely tell when you look at those ARR dungeons, like the original ones, you can definitely tell that they were more built around what Warcraft is versus being their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, you like, Preach was talking about this week, where, like, he's just like, yeah, they redid them so they don't play, like, Warcraft fights anymore. And that's good, because this gameplay is so fundamentally different from World of Warcraft in some ways that making fights run like World of Warcraft is really a bad idea. Though, let me tell you, I have died so many times to goddamn snapshotting in this game that, like, we literally could put a death counter on the stream at this point.
Oh my god.
We have found Bronson's Dark Souls thing. All right. In Final Fantasy 14. Got it. Snapshotting.
Oh,
Yeah, no, like...
The thing is, like, Bronson plays a Black Mage also, so he's gonna get greedy to see if he can get his cast off.
Yeah.
And then move.
Yeah, I gave up on that dream during our extreme this week, though. I was like, fuck that! Fuck my DPS!
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
in that fourth fight in the Alliance raid, like, you are moving the entire fucking
really?
time.
It's not the fourth fight for me that was the hard one. In fact, that was probably the easiest fight all raid. Let's see. So Texas is like FF14 and Cali as well, because we're taking in refugees like champs.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you are.
So, and just like California used to be really nice, but now it sucks. So that checks out.
Don't worry, if they got a plan announced for Tuesday at 9 a.m. when we're all busy working.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, redeem everything.
I hope I don't have a case at that point in the day yet. That's basically my thing.
I'm actually curious of the announcement, because everything has gone so wrong for a while that you get curious what their announcement is going to be.
Right, like you have this
themselves.
You have this like morbid curiosity of like, how will they fuck it up now? Let's find out. Uh, like Asmon had that thing the other day where it's just like where they had that news leak about Wrath Classic having the like equivalent to the Dark Portal Pass, but they're taking it even further, and like he's just like so done. He's just like, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm just gonna play the fucking game.
But here's yeah. All right. I was gonna say like he doesn't care, but he will still play it anyways.
Well, yeah, because Wrath is super fun. Like I came here for general gaming and found a FF14 podcast. This is the best.
Welcome.
Welcome. Trust me, we could happily discuss 14 a lot. We have Anthony, who is the most veteran here. Then we have Jesse, who moved from WoW, like during the beginning of Shadowlands.
Yeah.
And like I moved in the middle of Shadowlands during the big refugee move. So, yeah, like it's been a time, man. It's
we could talk a lot of MMOs. Bronson and I used to had to create a dedicated show to separate all of our MMO and PC talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And other things really nerdy into its own show, so that way the regular Gamecast can still do general gaming.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time.
That was the thing. But yeah, like 6.1 came out. I think it's pretty good, pretty fun. The story, I didn't like the story cutscenes too much because just so much talking.
I thought the end of 6... That's always the 0.1 patch, though. That's something I've noticed. Like, 3.1, 4.1, 5.1, and 6.1 have all been just set up for whatever the 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4 are.
And they're so boring.
And they're always... Like, the raid is always cool. The dungeon is typically always pretty cool. But the actual, like... Yeah, the rest of it is really kind of shit.
The end is always pretty cool.
Yeah, like in my opinion, I'm not gonna spoil it, that last cutscene teases someone coming back. If it's who I think it is, I'm here for it.
It 100% has to be, right? Like,
right, like they can't.
No way else.
Like, come back to me. I miss you.
Right.
That person is the best fucking character in this game. He's so good.
Well, and I'm really excited. Like to not. It's hard not to spoil anything about it, but I am really excited for the Final Fantasy 1 bosses, and I think that's what I'll leave it at.
That I'm not too like that. I'm kind of whatever about. Like the Alliance raid was fine for me. Like I like the Alliance raid. I think it's really good. But I love the last boss. That fucking scale mechanic made me laugh my ass off, dude.
Yeah.
It has been proven that the War of Light can't do math.
Yeah, nobody can do math.
Can't even figure out what a prime number is. We've proven that the War of Light cannot understand physics from the Sophia Extreme fight. Had scales on the side.
Hold on, We got a red versus blue quote in the chat. Come back to me, I made you a muffin. Yep. Lordy. Final Fantasy 14 is, it is a passion around here for sure for most of us. Now that M has a PS4, will have a PS4 soon. She can start playing.
Yeah, but I have to wait until after PAX because that's when I get it from my brother.
Well, hey, that's not that far away. Like what, 4 months? Yeah, 4 months. So,
4-ish, but yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good time. So yeah, like I really hope that my suspicions to who that gentleman or woman is in that last cutscene are right.
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
I feel like I missed it because I was kind of droning out from.
Did you?
I need to rewatch it.
Okay, yeah, it's the literal last cutscene of the patch. Like it's the one before they.
I'm feeling like my memory. It's like I've played this game solo for so long that I just started to forget things from it.
Oh, dude, like
and everybody's taking interest again, and I'm trying to remember things.
No, that's
trying to
fine.
remember
Like
things I
Stella
can't
will bring
recall.
up stuff from the story, and I'm like, oh right, that happened.
Well, that did happen. Yeah.
She mentions the
The thing is that I
death.
feel really bad is like you say I'm the veteran, but I sure feel like an extra old man because like I can't remember stuff. I can remember memories from the old days. Oh yeah, back in the old days, we didn't even have Party Finder, and you had to go and say hi to someone to join their group.
I feel like
And then
almost.
of course, but then they'll forget everything on how to operate a radio, for example. Like that's what it's like for me. It's like I
Yikes.
show up to this fight, and I'm like the only guy who can explain the mechanics, but at the same time, I don't remember it.
Oh lordy.
Or I've ran it so much where I don't remember it in words anymore. I just remember it through an instinct
I
or emotion, like walking.
I remember that the extreme we ran on what was it? On Tuesday. Yes, we ran it.
Aria,
Friday.
Ari Ensinger Extreme.
Yeah, the extreme we ran, Ensinger Extreme. The thing that stood out to me from that was like the fact that you and I both were doing the call out, like the different call outs and prioritizing them differently. That was pretty good.
Did you
Yeah.
guys clear that fight?
Fuck no.
No,
Oh, okay. I was
we haven't
checking.
we've only seen like the five heads like once.
Like yeah, we kept getting to that phase with the tethers and the meteors hitting and just fuck it up every single time.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
But the good news is we did see
We
the
haven't
five heads
tried
like
it.
once or twice, but
Wait, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Jesse. What?
We haven't tried it yet. We finally got to try out Pandemonium 3 Savage last night.
Yeah.
And we spent 4 hours bashing our heads against that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, for our group, like, it's just Anthony and I, and then whatever randos we can find on Goblin.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a little
or a
different.
data center, really.
Yeah, like my
We
favorite.
we found a fun drunken group that actually got us further than
Yeah,
the
no,
other
I
group
love
we
how we
tried
get
with.
like that group who was trying to parse, and they fucking were just
Oh.
not doing shit. But then we go to the group of drunk guys, and they're just like we get further than we did with the parse group.
Jeez.
It's fucking
It tells you how
awesome.
being relaxed can get you pretty far, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, those guys were funny. I always look for the idiot group to raid with. Because it's like, yeah, eventually we'll clear it. Like, it's just a matter of when. Drunken high gamers know what's up.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm typically sober when I play, but, you know,
I made a drink when I started because I'm like, I'm joining in with these guys. I'm gonna get buzzed and enjoy this.
Our,
we
our
did.
tank is our main tank is always higher than a kite.
you know, I wish I would have had that as a coping method when I was an MT. Because let me tell you, as someone who was a main tank from vanilla through Kata in like multiple high-end guilds, let me tell you, man, that would have helped immensely. But it is what it is. So, yeah, I thought it was a good patch. I think it has the problem that every 0.1 patch has of just like plot, dungeon, raid.
You just finished the story of Endwalker, which was a huge finale.
I'm sober now.
And now he's like, newfound adventure. How do you start newfound adventure? Go talk around, and maybe you'll find it.
Yeah, how does this work again?
Lordy.
But yeah, so great music as always, especially that final boss in the 24 minutes.
Oh yes,
Amazing
absolutely.
music.
I didn't play much FF11. Like I checked it out like a little, like when X played its review of it, and then World of Warcraft just completely took over my life for those kind of games. So yeah, it was... yeah. No, I don't know. It's a great patch. I've had fun. I want to clear the extreme real bad. I'm looking forward to it. You know, when will I get to clear that extreme? I don't know. Probably once I'm a little more geared. I have just enough for a 390 piece this week, so I'll have 2 of those at least, or not 390, 590. Yeah. So I don't know. Anybody have anything else? Like thoughts on the raid? I imagine you cleared the raid, Jesse.
I think we
Yeah,
talked a
yep.
lot about Final Fantasy XIV.
I've honestly thought about doing an FF14 show for the channel just to make it more diversified, and also like funnel all because like this 14 has been on the podcast for like the 8th week in a row now, just because someone's always doing something in it. So I've kind of been at the point where I'm just gonna I'm
add it to
like its own separate little island, just because it's easier. You know, like it makes it very similar to what we had to do for Warcraft back in the day. You know, so. Did anyone play anything else besides 14?
Well, it's my first time at the show in like a few months, but off the top of my head, Gran Turismo 7, a little bit of Horizon Forbidden West.
FF14 FF14 show, call it Limit Break Radio. I miss those guys.
Oh.
Lordy.
And building another city in City Skylines. That's about it that I could think of.
I did some Guild Wars with Stella. It was cool. It was a great game. That game's fun. It definitely has the roughest leveling process in my opinion. Like, it doesn't have that polish that WoW has, and it doesn't have the story of Final Fantasy. And like, I kind of just want to fuck around in PvP a bunch, but like, you can't, like, leveling that way is like the slowest way you can level. So I'm kind of just
unfortunate.
Yeah, but you can level doing anything. That's the cool part. Like, I went up like 4 levels just doing the story and exploring. Like, it's really different and cool. I don't know, what would be a good name for a Final Fantasy podcast?
If we're just focusing on 14?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I don't know. The game gets memed to death. I'm sure we'll find something.
Eorzean Alliance Free Trade Agreement.
Oh
we don't talk about the economy at all.
Oh
in
my
this
god.
podcast.
You know.
I was also thinking something related to the Warriors of Light being really stupid because they can't do math, they can't figure out how physics works, and now we can't know how to balance scales in the latest 24-man raid. Like, what was it? You said that we were like Eorzean's adventurers are just a bunch of murder hobos that can't do anything that involves like computation.
Yeah, you can't count, you can't fucking do math, like just none of it happens. None of it.
Just point me where to just point me what to kill.
What do I need to kill and how?
Who do I talk to and listen for the next 3 hours to tell me where the heck to go kill?
Before we leave FF14, I'm sad that Gilbert Godfrey didn't get to voice as Gaius Van Belsar. I want that to happen so bad, just a scary man with Iago's voice. I would love to see him. I would have loved to see him do Fandaniel, because Fandaniel is my favorite villain. So one thing that we've talked about on the show before is Anthony and I have come to the conclusion that humanity is garbage and cannot be saved. It is done. It's done. We're just blaying it out. And so we're like, Fandaniel, at least for the real world, is right. Like, he's 100% right. So we want to get t-shirts made for the next Fan Fest. And if we can get people who watch the stream on board with it to all wear at FanFest, Fandaniel was right shirts, we're gonna do it. At minimum, you will have At minimum, you will have Anthony, Stella, and I rocking it. So.
Didn't Aaron say he would wear that too?
Yeah, I think we got Aaron on board last show. So Fandaniel was right. That's what we need. So I don't know. It's one of those things where we're gonna just. I mean, think about it. Fandaniel was right. Like, humanity is not worth it. Let's just do it over.
Let's just end it.
Yep.
Let's just restart.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, so it's me and Anthony. Like, I did Guild Wars. I feel like I messed around with something else this week at some point. Like, I got a lot of Final Fantasy time in, other than the patch though. Like, I unlocked all the Stormblood raids, so we can get the dogs done.
Nice.
We've checked off the horses, we've done the birds, now we're on to the dogs. Anthony and I are going to have the full set of rainbow mounts. It's going to be dope.
Which means we got to tackle the the Endwalker ones too.
Yeah, once those are out and done. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have no problem.
And then we're slowly trying to make our ultimate suffering team.
Yes, so we have. So the good news is Quinn's guild doesn't have like a team for that yet, so we can easily get Quinn on, as long as we can meet his schedule. We have you and I, and we'll have Aaron once he's good to go. Jerica most likely not happening because her prog group is doing Ultimate soon. So we're probably gonna need tanks and whatnot. I would love for Jesse to join if he's willing to do it with his current Ultimate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, no, it's gonna be dope. So yeah, like we'll see. Like we're trying to assemble that. It helps that I am now capped and geared, or geared-ish, as I'll put it. Like I got my first 2 pieces of 590. Now that this week between the tombstones and the what's it called, the Alliance Raid pants I got. So yeah. What about you, Jesse? Anything besides 14?
No, Final Fantasy 14 rhythm games, but like mostly Final Fantasy 14. The new PvP mode has been
It's
so
fun
much
as hell,
fun.
dude. Oh my god, thank you for reminding me. This is the first time I've hopped into Final Fantasy PvP in a long time, because it's garbage. Normally it's garbage.
Yes.
But this was like it's literally just res zerging over and over and over again.
Yep.
That's all that it is. But it's fucking so much fun, especially because they like tweak the abilities and like every class gets scaled up, so you can literally just go in with a class at level 1 and you get all your shits. It's great. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've done.
I mean, yeah, it's super fun, and like I haven't done the new stuff. The new stuff is cool. No, I agree with you. The old stuff was garbage, especially like as someone who used to like do a lot of WoW PvP, and like used to like do TBC arenas all the time. Like I tried Final Fantasy PvP for the first time like a month ago, and I'm like, this is awful. Why would anyone play this? And then like this new mode that's called what, Crystalline Conflict?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like
push the cart from like Overwatch or TFT or whatever.
yeah, like and it's super fun. Like it's well done. It looks great. Like it's they tweak the abilities in just a way to where like it's not frustrating. Yeah, like it does help that there's no toxicity in it either, because they remove chat.
Yep.
Like all you have is emotes to chat, so you can't have the thing.
So toxicity is somebody going up and slapping you then.
Yes.
No, there's only specific emotes you can use.
Oh, so you can't slap someone. Okay.
No, and there's like pre-made chat messages that you can use, and that's about it.
Yeah, and you can't queue as teams either. So you are just you literally are like they've literally done everything they can to discourage toxicity. Which
outside of sabotaging your own team, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Which I mean, yeah. Which I actually figured. So I just figured out something because it's the Horde strategy for Alterac Valley. Which is, or not the Horde strategy, the Alliance strategy for Alterac Valley and the Horde strategy for Arathi Basin. You get 10 astronomy tomestones for every time you win or lose in the new good job. Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah, yep, it does happen.
But you get 10 tomestones no matter what, for winning or losing in PvP. And obviously it is way faster to lose than it is to win. Like, if you do it on purpose. And, like, I figured out, like, man, you can lose a game of this in, like, 2 minutes if your entire team is willing to throw with you. And you can just get 10 tomestones every 2 minutes if you just keep throwing. Like, literally, if they did not ban chat, I could totally see people doing this. Like, 100%. Like, no doubt. Because they used to do it in WoW back in the day.
Yep.
No, my favorite thing was getting Alterac Valley and the entire Alliance just being like, okay, cool, we're all going to go just stand outside the area and let them cap. Because our queues are like 2 minutes versus theirs are like hours on end. Yeah. And it was the same thing with the Horde and Arathi Basin. Like, the Alliance always won Arathi Basin, no matter what. It was weird. So yeah, that's PvP. Anthony, and then last we have M. M, you play anything?
Just more Kirby.
More.
I actually have a second run of Kirby going right now.
Ooh, I like that. Kirby's fun. I like Kirby games a lot. They're very chill. They're a relaxing experience. All right, well, I think that's it, guys. It's been a good show, good chill week. I know we didn't really have much news to talk about, and we didn't have really much of a show plan either. It was kind of. I honestly debated hopping on today and just being like, "Hey, Anthony, you just want to do a Final Fantasy 14 stream instead?" So,
I mean, I'd be okay with it. As long as I don't take it too seriously. Because it's been a fun adventure. I'm trying to level a black mage, and
greatest idea.
Man.
Well, we're definitely streaming 14 this week on Tuesday and Friday again. So, or at least I am. I can't speak if Aaron's doing any additional days beyond his Elden Ring day. So, but yeah, so you're definitely get some 14, so give us a follow if that's what you're all about. Once Data Center travels up, we'll be running content together, because then Jesse, Aaron, myself, Black Mage, let me dodge what comes my way. No, Black Mage, healer adjust.
Yes.
Let me tell you, it was absolutely fantastic when we joined up in Endsinger, and I'm like, oh no, there's 2 black mages.
No, dude, three. We did 3
like,
black
mages. Let me get my master's degree in adjustment. Because I'm gonna have 3 people who are going to really test where they can stand and not die, but still alive enough for me to heal them.
By the end of that run, I'm pretty sure I was the only black mage who actually knew where I should be standing. I'm like 90% sure, because I was always the last black mage to die. So, but I was also giving up DPS to do that. So it was. Yeah, I will always remember that Preach video. It's just like, the boss is attacking with its big super mega attack. Do you A, stand in it, B, sacrifice your DPS for the party and move out of the way, and then Preach just yells, "Stand in it, bro! Healer problem!"
It's a constant. I don't know if I want to call it a game chicken, but it's a constant negotiation thing, because you need to get damage done. So you got to stand just enough to get your damage done, but you also have to dodge just enough that the healer isn't thinking that you're making their life hard and they completely stop healing you and you die and lose all your damage.
Yeah. No.
So you're constantly just trying to read how much you can get away with the healer.
Slide casting is your best friend. Slide
casting is your best friend, also knowing which attack doesn't immediately one-shot you.
The problem with
a Vuln stack on you.
It's all about whether the healer needs to heal someone else or not at the moment. It also depends on the difficulty. Like, on Extreme, the answer is everything one-shots you, so always move.
Yeah, but if we're doing normal, fine.
Oh, dude, on normal, I can get away with so much shit in normal.
The thing is, the fact that I'm going to be a healer on our ultimate runs is, going to be great.
I mean, on our ultimate runs, it's slowly looking like I'm going to be our Dark Knight, because we won't have any other tank options. That's the reality. It's just, unless we can get, Jesse, what's your main?
Samurai.
Samurai. So yeah, you another DPS, and I get it. You want to take a samurai over a black mage. That makes sense. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I know that once Stella hits 70, we're making Reapers together, and dude, I was watching some Reaper guides, and I was just like, okay, this might be my alt DPS job. This shit looks awesome.
Yeah, Reaper looks really cool.
It's so cool looking. I know that Jericho said there's a lot of GCD management, which is my biggest problem. But, fuck it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's still a whiles off. I know that we have quite the posse planned for stuff. And we're gonna get it sorted and figure out fun stuff for it. So, anyway, guys, it's been a fun week. We'll be back next week with your more standard programming. If you're not yet,
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe if
You
Aaron
clear
comes.
Endsinger, and you're gonna be talking about it for an hour.
Oh, dude! If we actually clear Endsinger next Friday, I will be a very happy man. And especially no Kingdom Hearts talk. That was last week's show.
Oh no, that was last week.
That was last week. That news literally broke Sunday morning, and we reported it right after. So a couple of things. One, give us a follow because we do the show every single Sunday morning. And we stream throughout the week, but those schedules are random. I know for sure that we are doing. I know for sure this week I'm doing Tuesday and Friday again because those are my open nights as far as like to do shit. So we'll be doing the Tuesday. We're gonna do the new raid again to get gear and to get used to it more. And we're also going to try and do maybe some of the Stormblood raids.
That's right, boy.
Hey, there's the follow.
Cool.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thanks for the follow.
I heard the alert,
you.
but I don't see the alert. Oh, there it is. Good. Oh lordy. But yeah, like I think that we're gonna be doing 14. I don't know what Aaron's schedule is as far as he goes, but we're gonna be doing 14 on Tuesday and Friday. Elden Ring will most likely be Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then we have the podcast on Sunday morning as always, where we'll talk about all the news and all that fun stuff. We love you guys. Thank you. We'll be back next week, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.
See ya.